Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
That's pathetic. And anytime a visiting country comes to America and we play their national anthem, not a single person boos their national anthem. They don't do it in Formula One. They don't do it in the Olympics. They don't do it in any kind of international competition. They don't do it in soccer. This is pathetic. This is irritating, and this is shameful. The people in Canada should be ashamed of themselves. They used to be known for being polite and clean and good citizens, and now they're just a bunch of misfit scumbags.
Wow. You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Welcome. Look, I miss you guys. I miss you guys. That's why I'm coming back tomorrow.
All right.
All right. I'm going to try to make it home. First of all, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Dan, you actually look good today. You look refreshed, like you might have actually got a pretty good night's sleep, or is it completely opposite of that?
No, I did. I slept well last night like a baby. Cried all night and pooped my pants in the morning, so it was great.
I had by the way, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and I am, Lummy, I'm sure that, is it like Zolt 73 or so?
Zolt 71.
He's like the statistician of the show. Like, he should tell you how much I should, if I was to stay on my diet, he would have told you what I was supposed to weigh today. He would tell you what day I said that there are no hats, we have to have our hair done. And I today have violated that very rule that I made. Hard telling when, Lummy. I'm sure Zolt will come up and say, September 2022, Bubba the Love Sponge proclaimed you cannot have a hat on the regular show. And today I am breaking that rule. I feel horrible. I'm so sorry.
Maybe we should change the rules. I mean, maybe that was a Biden regime rule, and maybe we need Trump rules where you can wear a hat because this is America.
But backwards.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I would.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You might as well just open. Great suggestion, Kush.
You should
real.
see it, Bubba. I mean, you should see us without you around here. We're slamming the door. We're turning the lights on. I mean,
messing with the air, fans.
Yeah, we're living our life over here, man.
Digging in the fridge.
Let freedom ring.
Jacking the air up, jacking the air down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Being comfortable, what you need, what you want, who cares? Oh, man, I can imagine totally, as much as it sucks for me to be remote, it's probably awesome for you. If I really kind of take a think about it, like, man, the asshole's gone and, lightly around and everything. Woo-hoo! You guys are probably just kicking up your heels and everything, right?
When I walked in, there was more fog in here than it was outside, so I think everyone's really relaxed. But, Bubba, you keep cutting in and out. Do you hear that, guys? Am I the only one hearing that?
Oh, yeah, Macho.
I don't hear it.
I told Erica to make an adjustment.
Macho. Okay.
We're making an adjustment.
Right. Okay.
Is Erica scurrying around? Is she scurrying around there, Bubba?
Yeah, she's scurrying around. Okay. I mean, she put a backdrop behind me. Did you guys see that? How much better that looks?
Yeah, it looks good.
Much better.
Looks like you're in a little bubble. Little bubble.
It looks like
bubble.
I'm in a little
confessional.
It just goes to show you, man. You could literally be and just like put 2 banners behind you and like have a professional looking studio, which leads me to believe that we are way overkill on our facility. If
Yeah, you think
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you could scale this down tremendously, Bubba.
Yeah, if we all had little towels behind us, it would look good.
All right, Merch Crick's making some type of adjustment here. I can't hear myself cutting in and out.
It's okay.
I mean,
you're mixed minus over there.
You're mixed minus.
What does that mean, Macho Man?
You're hearing your microphone directly in your headphones,
which is why you're not hearing the cutouts.
And that's why we don't send you back your microphone so you don't hear reverb.
Oh, all right. So I just hear straight, from mic to my processor, and then you guys have to hear the other end of it. Obviously, am I still? She's working on it. What I can't. What?
Oh, jeez.
Is that what Macho Man said?
Merch Crick, the engineer.
Merch Crick, you have no idea how broadcasting works. She told me just to unplug my microphone and plug it back in. That would be like a scrub nurse in surgery telling you, Dan, take off your. I don't even know what it would be like. I don't think I can do that. I mean, based on your engineering skill set, no, I think. Has it gotten better?
I asked her to move the hotspot. Right now, you're good.
Oh, yeah, okay, we're good. Thanks, Merch Crick. She
reboot.
She says unplug. I'm live. I'm live on the air. Unplug your microphone and plug it back in. Like, I don't think you can really do that necessarily.
No, you could do that. You wouldn't. Yeah, you'd be fine.
I know. I'm just like whatever.
I mean, okay.
I mean, hold on. Look how awkward this would be if I actually would have done it.
Well, you're cutting in and out though still. Well, I guess maybe because your mic was unplugged.
Well, I just unplugged my mic.
Okay, so did that work?
I think she moved the hotspot, and I did what the Merch Crick Engineering suggested, and maybe perhaps we're better now.
You sound brilliant.
So what did you guys do yesterday? Well, thank you. So do you. Well, let's see. I can hold on, Dan. I never sound brilliant. I think the audio sounds better. I don't know how brilliant I really am. Now, you're a brilliant person. I don't know. And I'm brilliant at certain things, but, not in overall skill, not like overall knowledge. You're pretty brilliant.
But you sound like you're right
normal.
Next door.
Right. So what'd you, Lummy, did you get your CO yesterday?
Yeah, I was buying couches and moving couches.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going from laying sod to buying. So at least we're indoors now, right?
Yes, we are indoors.
We're building swells. We were building swells and laying sod, and now we're going to rooms to go to look for couches.
Not rooms to go, but next best thing, Facebook Marketplace.
Curb Alert Willie.
Salvation Army.
Are you like Kush shit? Are you Curb Alert Willie on the deal?
Salvation Army, here we come. 50% off on Saturdays.
Is that Backpage kind of advertising?
I completely forgot what I was going to say. But is there good? There's actually some pretty nice stuff on Marketplace.
Oh, yeah.
There?
I mean, you got to pick it through. It's like 1 out of 10 between either getting fraud or to pretty much a person that is faking a picture of a couch. But
you worried about getting robbed?
Hold on. They have you bring. They put a nice couch out there for like $50, and you're like, my God, this is a $800 couch all day, and then you go over there and they have you come in the house and they pull a gun on you? Like, how does it go?
No, Bubba, it's like where Lummy would show up at a safe place like a Burger King or something to meet the guy, and then they would put him at gunpoint in their truck, and then they would molest him.
Yes. Well, that is
really?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I went to East Tampa for one, but luckily the place was nice. People were nice, and it worked out. I hit a nice pocket of East Tampa, but going there because they only wanted to meet after 7:00 at night.
Oh, after dark.
Which was a little.
For a couch deal.
And the couch was less than a year old. Yeah.
For a couch caper, you want to meet? We got to meet after 7:00 in East Tampa.
Yeah.
So did you end up buying it?
Oh yeah, it was actually it was covered. It was a brand new couch. It was a military family that they were moving, needed to get rid of their couch.
Likely story.
Yeah, he's
But guess
probably going
what?
to buy a Cybertruck.
Hey, I believed it, and I took it, and
Did you smell it at all? Like, did you?
Oh, it was in their garage. It was like they were in a nice pocket. A nice African American gentleman with his wife really hooked me up, gave me some free rugs, and
Is there soul glow on the back cushions?
hey, listen, that thing was it's a pristine couch. I can tell you that one. And I negotiated them down $100 too.
Oh
so.
wow, good for you.
So what they want? What'd you give them?
They wanted 400. I gave them 300, and they threw in 2 rugs too, 2 brand new rugs.
Wow, man! I mean, I need to have you start negotiating deals around here. Look at that.
I know. I didn't get
Now,
killed either.
Lummy, when it was it advertised 400?
Yes.
All right. So when it goes to like you're looking you're looking at the couch. So now did Ashley go with you?
No, it was just me.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
she
then
doesn't want to bring Walker into the ghetto.
No,
you know?
she didn't. Yeah, I had my knife on me.
It's like
so.
your knife,
Bubba
your
Army
knife,
knife?
like that's gonna do anything.
I mean,
So, remember when Indiana Jones back in the day he went up to that dude, and that dude had all these like nunchucks or whatever, and was going to whip Indiana Jones, or a sword. He had a sword.
Two
remember?
swords. I think he had two
Yeah,
swords.
he was going through this whole sword routine and everything, and then Indiana Jones just pulled out a gun and shot him.
yeah.
That's what happened with you, Lummy. You pull out your Bubba Army knife to try to stick a guy, and he just shoots you.
Yeah.
Well, the
So
problem in
how does
Florida
it go?
is that's lethal. So, you can meet lethal with lethal. So if someone pulls a knife on you, you can shoot them.
I don't think Lummy really carries a gun around. I don't think. Maybe.
Well, I do. When
I don't know.
don't wear my basketball shorts, though, it's kind of hard to conceal in my basketball
Lummy,
shorts.
you can conceal a 20-ounce bottle of Gatorade that has half liquor in it. I think you can conceal a little.
I know,
a little
but
third, a little
yeah,
third.
but my basketball shorts and wearing a gun, I was a little nervous that I may scare them away if they were nice people.
Yeah, that's probably true. But you know what?
So-
If they have those purses that hide guns, you should make like a Gatorade
Yeah,
bottle
like
with
a
a
Bubba
gun
Army,
holster
Bubba Army
inside.
tactical bag.
I had my tactical bag.
A Bubba Army tactical bag. Well,
I
your
had
tactical
it.
bag, you sling it over your shoulder.
Oh, I had it.
Sling
it
it
was in
over
my
your
truck.
shoulder.
It's in my truck. It was right next to me.
Well, and your truck's not going to do, you should have
Well,
brought
once
your
I
tactical
pulled up-
bag into the negotiation area.
Well, once I pulled up and it was a gated community, I felt a little more safe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't think there's a lot of really bad things that happen in gate. For some reason, that gate out there for the general public to either get in or not get in really makes a huge deterrent on crime. It really does.
It sure does.
No matter what the neighborhood.
No matter, yeah.
Because you could go to a nice neighborhood that's not gated and people are getting cars broken into and stuff like that. But inside that gated community, you're right. There's this like extra aura of protection.
Well, I think a lot of bad guys figure that maybe they got some type of surveillance system on the gate at least, and there's one way in, one way out. And, even stupid thieves probably have some sense of common sense, if you will. When I lived down in another thing that saves you is a toll. If you have to pay a toll, people won't rob you if they have to pay a toll to get to your house.
Oh,
That's true.
Remember, I lived down
That's
in Bailey,
true.
Lummy,
Yeah.
and
You had to
there
pay
was
a
a
toll in and
toll.
out.
There was if you lived out there, then it was like $35 for the entire year to go through the express lane
That's
pass.
all?
But yeah, 35. Well, yeah,
That little toll right
bucks,
before your house?
$35 a year, and that gave you up to 4 vehicles. I think, man, Florida might have been cooler back in the days, because that seems like a really good deal nowadays,
it
doesn't
sure
it?
does.
I mean, $35 and you got 4. Maybe it was 2 vehicles. I think it was 2. For $35, they give you two passes to go through the Bayway toll deal. Otherwise, I think it's $1.
It was like 75 cents or $1, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's going to pay $1 to come rob you. I'm just telling you,
It's enough of a deterrent. You're right, Bubba. You're absolutely right.
So then I had a guarded gate. No, we didn't have a gate. We had a guy that stopped you.
Oh, it's even better.
Yeah, I had a guy that stopped you. And then, everybody where I used to live, they literally wouldn't even lock their houses or cars. Like, nobody even locked your car.
So but the guy would know you, though, right? You just like give him the old wave. He'd open up things for you?
Oh, yeah, they when you're going up to the guard gate and, he knew everybody's car. Plus, you had a sticker in your left-hand window
that helps.
showed you were a resident, so he just passed you on through. I said stop, but I didn't even never, like, me and Fabrizi and all the gangsters out there, we never stopped. We just would wave at them. But you know what? I often thought, because back in the day when I was, running a little bit harder, Lummy, the chicks that I would be having come to the house,
Yeah.
you have to call the guard gate and tell them, hey, I got,
Did you ever throw him a little favor?
Well, I Christmas and stuff. We give him like $100 bill.
Oh,
but,
okay.
That's a favor.
I didn't know
But
if you sent him a girl.
But no, these guys were old. But one of the guys was named Robert, and he stopped me one time, and he goes, "I got to tell you, at this point, I might have lived there maybe 8 to 10 years." He goes, "Out of all the years of me working the gate, you have more girls come through here than anybody." And I was, a guard at a celebrity, island or place to get it. You could write a book. I don't think, Dan, that if you're a guard for a community that you have to sign an NDA to have that job.
That's a good question. So, probably not in most places, but they may, like Star Island.
Like if you lived
in Miami,
in an area that had a few, popular people, and you just kept copious notes of all the guests that they had in, you could really, think about it. Like you could really, really, really do some damage. Well, this particular athlete had, 6 girls this week. Well, I
can't do any damage if you're working the security booth. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, what are you going to do? Write a book that Leonardo DiCaprio had 6 women come over at 3:00 in the morning on Christmas Eve? 07?
Yeah. What are we
going to do?
Yeah. It might be a short little paperback, but yeah, maybe
unless it's Diddy security guard or Jeffrey Epstein's. Something that could really give us some juice. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I want to know who's coming over to the Kardashians' house.
We had names and no one cared. No one cares. No one cares the guest list at Diddy's house. No one really cares. The people that went to Epstein Island, no one's paying attention. No one cares. It's weird. It's so
I don't
bizarre.
know. I think I disagree because we haven't been able to get a clear-cut, definitive answer on both examples that you gave with regards to Epstein Island and with regards to
Diddy.
P. Diddy. No, nobody knows the Diddy. I disagree. I think when Diddy's trial comes, and was it scheduled for May?
Yes.
For May?
Yeah, May. Yeah.
Everybody wants to know the names. But if you think about it, here's 2 guys that were, federally incarcerated that I don't know that the Epstein Island log, the real one, ever came out. Did it? And was there a bunch of legal Dan, I think we all care. I'd love to see it, but I think there's been a bunch of legal wrangling from probably some very influential people that are potentially on those logs that have kept those logs, the real logs, from being public.
So you think all the flight logs at Epstein Island were fraudulent?
No, I don't know that they were. I don't know if they were complete.
Right.
I don't know. I think Bill Clinton is probably the most powerful, sexy name on that. And you're right. Clinton really didn't get a lot of blowback. Didn't he frequent? Isn't it really? It's locked in that Clinton went to Epstein Island. I don't know how many times.
I think he was on the was it something Express?
Was it the Lolito? Was it the Lolito Express?
I think that's what it was.
Is that what Epstein called his plane?
Yeah, I think over 20 times. I think they said it was logged in.
There's nothing going on there.
Yeah, but nobody. But you've never heard anybody say, Bill, can you give us an explanation as to why you were on Epstein Island? Why you visited Epstein Island 20 different times?
No one's going to ask them. No one. They're all protected.
Oh, wait, I was just, hanging out with my boy Jeffrey, and then I severed all ties as soon as I realized he was a weirdo with chicks and everything. That log with Epstein Island, I think it has. Oh, somebody's saying Bubba is cutting out and sounds underwater at times. Just letting you know. Now you guys know why I want to be back in my studio tomorrow.
I don't think you sound underwater.
Hopefully,
every once in a while you may cut out.
We obviously, yeah. That's the cost of doing business when you're in Ocala. I'm 120 miles away in a fifth wheel RV in the middle of a pasture in Ocala, better known as Ocala Speedway. Man,
hogs?
What's that?
Are there any hogs running around there? Wild boar?
You talking about? Yeah, women from Indiana, or are you talking about
the animal, the feral animal that people hunt, and you're in Ocala, which is rural. There's a lot of rural area. I'm just wondering, do you guys have like a hog problem or boar?
No, Stockyard, which is adjacent to the property here, they have a wild feral hog that's like in a little pen, and it's been there for like 10 years. You should see. I bet it weighs 300 pounds.
Oh gosh!
But I think at this point it's tame. It's tame. And then beside him, they have these hog dogs, these hunting hog dogs that will bay up a hog, like 6 or 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He has a kennel. He breeds hog dogs, and then that's where the big stockyard is. I think on Monday, goats. They slaughter goats. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I think they.
Sad.
I think they do.
Do you hear them?
I think they. No, you don't. No. Hold on. They don't slaughter them at the stockyard. They just sell them over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't.
It's not the slaughterhouse.
Slaughter them.
I thought they were slaughtering them there too.
No, they just sell them. It's just the place they run them through. It's like the market. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah. They don't slaughter to the point because that really locked you up, man. I mean, I could never. I think that's the rendering or the butcher plant where they actually do the slaughtering. I don't think that that's really open to the public or anything like I think that's all kayfabe, the slaughtering deal.
Oh, thank God.
Can you, and do they eat? Does goats have? Do goats have meat? Redeeming? Like, can you eat goat meat?
Yeah, you can. They got to be raised a certain way. I think certain
now,
goats would be
But there's
gamey.
probably there's probably good eating goats and bad eating goats. I mean, there's more than one type of goat.
I'm gonna go. Macho Man wants me to go into a break so we can restart the hotspot. Let me PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. It seems like either I don't know. Either I'm
Neil Mount here, $20.
Oh, thank you. I say very slow. It's been very slow when I'm up here, so I got to get back in the studio so we can start making some money, guys. Very, very slow on the Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. For some reason, PayPal won't let me take out the money either.
Oh no, not again.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like, we have a little bit of money in the PayPal account, and like on Fridays, I'll hit transfer to the bank account, and it's like it's not giving me that option. So I don't know if I have to get on a phone call with a phone center in Bangladesh and get it figured out or not. But I don't know. I hope our PayPal isn't. I mean, I hope our PayPal isn't locked up, but it's not letting me take out any money. So I don't know what that means.
Can you transfer the money?
All right. So listen.
Okay, never mind.
No. What's that? No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you send the money to somebody else that can withdraw it? No. I'm saying, like, could you send it to Lummy who could? I don't know. I'm saying that there are other ways to move the money around.
I don't know.
Okay.
Then
I don't know. I'm gonna
get dinged with the fees, and the next thing you know, you're paying taxes on it, double taxes.
Yeah, we got taxation before relaxation and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna see how it goes until Friday, and then address it at that point. All right, so we're gonna take a break so that we can maybe technically get me to sound better. And we'll see you guys here like in 5 minutes. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show on the Bubba Radio Network back.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Were you asking about how it's today? Were you about to go home? Okay.
I was just saying. Yeah, I can go hog hunt right now. Kill somewhere now.
Oh, nice.
Seth, did you ever go hunting?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No, I couldn't do it.
Really? A nasty, mean boar that was going to kill you if you didn't shoot it?
Oh, well, I mean, I could do that.
I'm not asking you to shoot Bambi.
No, I know. I think going out and stalking prey is.
It's human.
I'd probably be what are the plant-eating dinosaurs?
An herbivore like a brontosaurus?
Yeah. That's what I'd be.
You're not a T-Rex, you're more of a
I
brontosaurus?
couldn't kill. I'd have to just eat leaves and fucking berries and shit.
I believe that. What kind of dinosaur would you be, Bobby?
A happy dinosaur.
A happy dinosaur? Like, you'd be Barney? I'd be a purple dinosaur.
Hey, Mr. Dinosaurs.
I love you, you love me.
Please don't kill me. Mr. T-Rex, Dr. Dan Dinosaur. I want to be your friend.
What's up, Kenny Powers, Bart Hutchison,
Apatosaurus, thank you.
Big and Greasy, Bart Hutchison, Camper Scott,
Rain Joe. Yeah, you Jib.
Grip Lips,
The internet can still go, still become wonky.
Neil Montplaisir,
Randy Ginzer.
AG, Disney Phil.
Is there something going around Dr. Dan sickness-wise? Like,
Yeah, everyone's been fucking sick. Hey, what's up, CC Hall?
Because every show said he hasn't eaten in like 4 days, but he does have a temperature. He broke his temperature.
Justin Keeler.
Does that sound normal?
Yes, I've had that. A lot of people tell me that.
Like they can't eat?
Mm-hmm. It's good. They lose their 5-6 pounds.
Yeah, but what is that? And why can't I catch it?
Yinzer. What's up, Black Guy in Cali? Grip Lips. Snook Slayer.
Is it just like the flu or whatever?
Yeah, it's just a bad flow. TNT 1560. Good morning.
Dan, I swear your Cybertruck looks like it's growing.
No. I didn't let it go down all the way. It did grow.
The Cybertruck?
Looks like it's growing.
Well, it just every time I see it, it looks like bigger and bigger.
It's up a little higher.
Is it?
Sometimes you get out, it settles and goes really low, and I defeated it because I was pulled up too much. So I thought to stop. I didn't want it to like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it goes up and down. So it is higher.
Wow.
6 inches higher.
How well do I know your fucking Cybertruck, man? Look at that. Shit looks like it's fucking. Looks like one of those race cars with the spinners and shit.
Oh, jeez. You should put spinners on it. You'd look good with that.
I said, oh, lordy. Dan's car's getting big.
Warrior Highway 73.
Oh, man. I tell you what, man, this is the week they should be doing all that bullshit like the all-pro fucking dodgeball game and shit like that.
All right, give me a test.
Not the week before?
No, man, we need it this week.
1, 2, 2.
They got your sound clear, too. Sounds clear.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
All right, cool.
We need a lead
All
up
right,
to
tell
the
them
Super
35
Bowl.
seconds. All right.
They should have a alumni game.
Yep.
I mean, something. They should play something.
Would you watch an alumni game?
I'd watch anything this week.
We're talking about the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I said they should move. I said they should.
I said, what about like a Super Bowl alumni week where you get like the guy all decade teams?
I'd watch the old guys play fucking PlayStation. I don't care.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I think we got things handled. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, myself, Lummy, Dr. Dan Diaco, I feel like he's like the Ohio University or the Seth Kushner, Rhett, and Macho Man. Lummy or whoever, is this better?
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, it must have been hard telling what it was.
Did you unplug your mic and plug it back in?
No, and then I did 2 circles and a yippee-o. Lummy, I forgot to recognize Fish. Well, I didn't have an opportunity because I haven't been on the air. But yesterday during the after show, the uncensored after show, Fish on the J so graciously stepped up. So thank you, Fish on the J, via PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Oh, a little regurge. I'm sorry. All at the Bubba Army. PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday. I mean, what's the line? Is it what is the line on this?
It's even moved a little bit. It was, I believe, 4 or 6. It's been moving up and down. Yeah.
KC minus
KC's favorite. Yeah, it's 1.5 now. So yeah, it moved.
1.5.
It's 1.5 KC.
From 4?
Yeah, but I must have.
They only need 1 point to win, and they always seem to get it when the referees keep helping them in the last third of the game. It's pathetic. I think the referees have really, really manipulated this year's season, and it's shameful.
Does anybody else that follows sports, Seth? Do you feel this? I mean, I didn't watch enough games in the playoffs, other than when the Packers were beat and they got beat by Philly. I haven't really paid attention to a lot of the games because I've been so crazily busy up here. But, I mean, that one, what was it, the Bills-Chiefs game where they really said the refs were blowing it in for the Chiefs. What is that? I didn't see the game.
Yeah, there was a couple of back calls, I think, at the end, and Josh Allen going for when they went for it on 4th down, which it was kind of clear that he made it, and they overturned it, which was a kind of a big game changer there.
Yeah, they fixed the game. They absolutely fixed the game. Kansas City's a good team. They shouldn't have the record they have, and they shouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
But the Bills still had a chance to win at the end. Yeah. I mean, Dalton Kincaid, I believe, was dropped that pass on 4th down.
Yeah,
that would have kept the drive going. I mean,
they would have done some other manipulation.
Well, technically, if you watch it, the refs did throw a flag and then just picked it up once he dropped it. So they said that they already had a penalty if he would have caught it. They already had one in the bag if they would have caught it. Yeah, because if you
had one in the bag.
If you watch the Tony Romo says, "Oh, there's a flag on the play," and then they go, "Oh, never mind," and they even show flag and then they take it away because he dropped it. It didn't matter.
It's fixed. It's fixed. It's disgusting. They're cheating, and they want it. It's the money. The Kansas City Chiefs winning is more money for the NFL and the franchise and State Farm and the whole Taylor Swift. That's all they want. They want that commercialization. They don't care about Philadelphia. It's not sexy.
Well, you're saying the Chiefs bring more money than Buffalo as far as corporately?
Yeah, Buffalo. 2 people live in Buffalo. Iceland's got more people.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. By the way, Lummy, I don't know if Zolt 71 has gotten back to you, and I made a no hat policy, but I'm breaking that today, just because I woke up feeling like I didn't get very much sleep last night. We had practice. I think it was 45 late models and 45 mod lights. The pits are so packed here at Ocala Speedway that you cannot put we can't fit one other additional race car. Like everything's jammed. I've never seen it this packed ever. And if Winter Nationals next year are going to be this way, I'm going to have to start in, I don't know, let me see, maybe September or October, and take the back fence out and then and make the pits larger, just because we can't accommodate all the cars that are here today.
That's great.
It was insane. So, but Lummy, I'm going to see if I can get out of here tonight, and the Merch Crick will drive my truck, and I can sleep in the back, I think. Maybe sleep the hour and 20 minutes commute home.
You curl up in the back seat of the truck?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can, if there's nothing back there but me.
That's
Captain Creamsicle, $100.
Thank you, Captain Creamsicle.
That's easier than taking the seat and just putting it back flat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't sleep on my back as well as I can sleep on my side.
Oh, okay.
So I can sleep. I mean, the entire back seat on the F-150 crew cab is pretty big, actually.
Oh, yeah. They're big.
So I can probably sleep that way, and then I'll just put Bella up in the passenger seat with Merch Crick, and those two can drive me home. Super Bowl is this Super Bowl? This is Super Bowl Licks, right? 59.
Yes.
Super Bowl 59. How many times has it been in New Orleans? And I know that I've been to New Orleans 2 times for Super Bowls. Once I was on Radio Row, which I will never do again. At that point, I said I would never do it again unless I had some, a better situation. And that when the Super Bowl came to Tampa, they made us kind of a little riser and a platform right behind Jim Rome's
11
Super Bowl.
11?
It's been there 11 times.
Yeah, it's,
is it by far the most?
No, it's tied with Miami.
It's been to Miami 11 times too.
Yes.
Now, is there any there? And how many times has it been to Tampa? 4.
About.
I'm thinking, what was the first one when the Bills? I know
Giants.
the Bills Giants.
Wasn't there one before that in the 80s?
I don't know.
know.
Why
I
don't you,
think that was
why
the-
don't you Google how many times the Super Bowl in?
I think that was the first one. I mean, what other Super Bowl would have been at Rage or Houlihan or whatever it was back in the day?
Houlihan.
What was it?
It's Briggs and Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean, the Glazers owned 2 restaurants called Houlihan's. 2. Not, like 2. And they named it Houlihan Stadium for a while, remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like they might have been ahead of the game as far as,
naming rights.
Naming rights
I think
to a
you're
stadium.
right. But except they weren't charging themselves. But you're right. They may have set precedent by saying, hey, you can call your stadium anything. We got 2 restaurants, and we're calling our stadium Houlihan Stadium.
Because before it was just Tampa Stadium, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
it was
not
just
gonna work.
It was 4. And, there was a Super Bowl in 84. It was the Washington, formerly known as the Redskins, against the Los Angeles Raiders in 1984.
In Tampa?
Yeah, which was the first time.
Really? Who won that game?
Raiders 38-9.
Nobody ever talks about that around town.
Sure
No.
It was a 38-9 blowout.
That was Super Bowl. Which Super Bowl number was that?
18.
So we had Super
the top
Bowl
59 Super Bowls. That's like probably 57.
Yeah, no, but was Jim Plunkett? Was
Yes,
he the
Jim Plunkett and Marcus Allen?
Those days, right?
Yes.
So there are Tampa's first Super Bowl was in 1984 here. The year I graduated.
Yes.
Dan, probably the year you graduated. Did you graduate in 84?
Yes, sure did. Zolt 71, 12/10/2021. There will be no baseball hats while on air.
Okay. Well,
can we lift that? Can we lift that policy, Bubba? Are you open to
3-year policy?
Are you open to possibly changing your no hat policy?
Yeah, I think, sure.
Do you want to have a kicker on it? Like you just have to flip it backwards like yours so it doesn't hide your face?
No, well, I mean, maybe
for now.
back. At least let's as we embark on, like going, instead of just going whole hat, like this is just sticking the tip.
Let's start with like a visor or something, or
no, you could be Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Seth, you would look so freaky with your little bird's nest past you. I mean, a visor might really make you look weird.
Everybody looks like a clown in a visor. Who thinks they look good in a visor?
I don't know of anybody that can really pull the visor gimmick off.
No.
And why is the visor so synonymous with Steve Spurrier? Why? That's the only thing he ever wore.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So let's go with this, Lummy. As of 2/4/25, there's an addendum to my original no hat deal, is that you can wear a hat, but it has to be on backwards.
You're like Trump. Tariff, no tariff, tariff, no tariff.
Yeah, I have some Trump-like qualities, So Dan, since you should really be digging this new rule because you're MAGA Dan. So I think that you'd really be.
I think I'm being unjustly labeled as MAGA Dan.
Oh, Dan.
I was just highlighting the obvious superiority of the Republican candidate versus the pair of 2 different sets of Democrat candidates, and I was right. So, and it's about 80% of America agreed.
Dan.
What?
Donald Trump could go and kill 4 babies tomorrow, and you would somehow justify it. Listen, our show has.
Dan's not fighting it though.
He'd be like, "Hey, those were those were Mexican cartel babies. They were not going to really be able to contribute to society. It's not a big deal. It happened in Mexico. Trump jumped on his plane and got back in America. Yeah. They can't touch them. They were bad. They're going to be bad kids. The whole 9 yards.
Bad babies.
And so they were bad. So Macho Man has the Jim Rome clip. I think this is the time. I think we played it fairly recent ago, but we'll play it. We'll play it again. This is when I was at Sirius XM, and they're like, "We want to put you on Radio Row," and I'm like, "You tell Radio Row I'm not going down there unless I have my own area, kind of like near Jim Rome and how he's got." Of course, we were a step below Jim Rome. He had like the A package. I had like the B package, but everybody else has like the F package. They literally give Radio Row at the Super Bowl consists of a cart like a banquet table with black skirting on it and then microphones. That's it. And you're right next to, 4 feet away from you is the country show from, Minneapolis, and then 4 feet from them. It looks like literally a school cafeteria with radio people and microphone. And they just take one guest. This is Jim and Rhonda from X105 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay. And then they take the guest. This is, the Jim Fribley show from South Bend, Indiana. They just take these former players, and just parade them around these these banquet tables to, hack-ass radio personalities that usually play music in the morning to do Super Bowl interviews. And some of them don't even do them live. They just tape them. With all the podcasting and stuff going on, I bet you that Radio Row now is half, maybe even more, is not even live. It's probably podcast. When I did, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a great place to get podcast interviews, especially later on in the week.
Oh yeah. So anyway, but I don't think we have a pass to Radio Row. I didn't even put one in. When I did do it here, I did it, not in conjunction with Jim Rome, but my table was next to Jim Rome's, and I had kind of a little elevated area with a Sirius XM backdrop, and it was, the B package, not the A package. Here's audio. I think Jim Rome talking about when we were at Radio Row. I think. Mach, roll it if you could.
If you're in Tampa and you want to let me know what's going on, go ahead and hit us up. You've got your phone number, you've got your email address, and you've got Twitter. Also, went on with Bubba the Love Sponge this morning. Bubba is an icon. He is a radio legend. I had always wanted to go on that program. I went on this morning. He lived up to all the hype. It was an incredible experience. So what I'm trying to say to you is I'm having a real good day.
That's awesome.
It was easy for him to go on because he just stepped off his riser, and when I was came over to my riser, he was great. What a great dude. What a personality too, man. He has been around now for I don't know how long. Is he the gold standard of? And I know there's been Colin Cow. There's all these people now. Mad Dog Russo and all these people that are
Dan Patrick,
and
Libetard.
obviously Libetard and McAfee. But don't you think that kind of Jim Rome was kind of the first person in that national radio space, so to speak?
Oh yeah,
yeah, and absolutely. I'm a huge Jim Rome fan. Hold on, what's Macho Man? You're doing things on my screen. Am I supposed to hit that, or you want me to hit that? Oh, okay. Macho, I don't know what Macho. Can you see Macho Man's doing something?
Sure can. Yes.
Like Mach, I love you, Mach, but that really throws me off, bud.
He's producing on the fly.
I know, but tell me the thing. Now, knowing that things like this could potentially happen, then I'll be ready for it. But it would flash up on me. I'm like, oh man, something's going on.
So would you have done like he did with Chris or with Everett when he kept calling it Chris Everett? Chrissy.
Probably, and I don't know if he got his ass kicked. But
I think he got sputted a little bit.
I think
it made him famous.
He screamed and cried like a little girl.
I know, but boy, it was a moment. I don't know if that moment was. Because he was already on very much a national situation.
And that was 30 years ago.
Yeah, 94.
Yeah, but you got to give little Jim Rome, because Jim's not a big dude at all. He's not a big dude at all, and he got. He nutted up.
Semi-autograph Travis, $25.
I like him more than Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is a whole different deal.
But they do the same thing.
I'm just so worried about our PayPal, Lummy, that it's broken.
That's not
or
good.
that or the show sucks. We used to just kill it on PayPal, and it's just triculation now. I feel like our PayPal has a kidney stone. And I can't get any decent flow out of it, and I'm clogged.
Oh, no.
And I got 11 millimeter kidney stone down my. Is it my urethra or my? Is that what it would be? Is that where the stones get stuck when I get kidney stones?
They get there's two places: the ureter from the kidney to the bladder, and the urethra from the bladder to the outside world.
Yeah, but you know what? What was the first one?
Ureter.
No, they think that was
that's a little tiny thin tube that goes from your kidney to your bladder. Is that where you're getting stuck?
Yes. That's where they get stuck and hurt the most. Once they get down there by your penis, that tubing, you're clogged, but you don't have as much pain. But the pain, like I've had 20 kidney stones. The most painful part of passing a kidney stone is that first part when it goes from your kidney to your bladder. That is the worst. Now, once it gets into I feel like once it gets into the tubing of your penis, then you can feel it and you're clogged and your penis burns like literally it's on fire. But you can take the burning sensation more than you can just the absolute most. Dan, when you were in residency, did you ever have to treat kidney stones?
No, that would go to a different department.
That was urology?
Yeah, usually urology.
That was an emergency?
No, we didn't do that. I never treated someone with kidney stones.
You never have?
No.
I think what they do is I've only had now out of the 20 kidney or 18 or so kidney stones I've had, the way they treat them, and I've only had to go to the hospital 3 times. I've gone to the hospital 3 times. One time, they saw I had really good insurance, and they admitted me.
Oh, jeez.
They actually admitted me. And all they do, Dan, is I think they give you like bags of saline, and just to really, really, really try to, floodgate it through.
Exactly.
If it's not, 20 millimeters, but they say that anything over 10's not passable, but I've passed a 12 before.
Oh, good. Congrats, man.
You're wallered out. I mean, what's your ureter score?
Can't they laser them or anything?
They can do lithotripsy where they use like sound waves to break them up, but you have to be put to sleep for that. And sometimes you have to do surgery.
And sometimes they have to put
they'll grab it too.
Or they'll put a stent in.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to treat kidney stones. I never have done any of that. The one time, I went to the hospital 3 times. One time, Dr. Mark met me there, and he just VIP'd me right into wherever he had whatever he had, what are those called, Dan? When you have privileges, yeah. When you are a doctor that can go into an emergency room or a hospital, and you they let you work there.
Right.
Is that called privileges?
Mm-hmm.
Privileges. Now, how does that happen? How do you get privileges from a hospital?
You have to apply, and they have to approve you, and they only give you privileges for a year or 2. Because once you have privileges, it's really difficult to take it away. It's considered property. So they have to make you renew it. That way, if they're pissed off at you, they just won't renew it instead of trying to fire you.
Now, do you have to pay for it?
Yeah, it's nominal. $50, $80.
Right.
Processing.
Now, what would be the advantages of having privileges at a hospital compared to not having privileges at a hospital, especially if you're not like an ER doctor or you're not on staff, but you have privileges? What does that mean?
It means you can work there and write orders to make the nurses do stuff there. You're still a doctor throughout the state, but you could use their system. You can admit patients there. You have surgical privileges there maybe, and you can do surgeries there and write orders and things like that. Yeah, you can get onto the chart.
Now, so have you've had privileges at various hospitals in Tampa before, have you not?
Yes, yeah. I still do at Memorial and St. Joe's.
Oh, really? So that means like if you had somebody that had complications from one of your surgeries and you couldn't handle it at TOS or something like that, then you would say, meet me at St. Joe's or Memorial.
Yeah, or if someone had a problem, I'd transfer them to St. Joe's.
Right now, would that be like if I got into a car wreck and I didn't need anything plastic surgery-wise, but I needed to be admitted into the hospital, and I got admitted into one of the 2 that you have privileges, does that mean you could come rolling up in there with your lab coat and start boss hogging around a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we need to find out where Dan has privileges in case any of us ever go to the hospital.
Memorial, St. Joe's. It's easy, Bubba. They're both close to you. The 2 closest hospitals to you are Memorial and St. Joe's. Go there.
Okay. Which one now? Out of the 2, which one would you suggest? Like, not that they're better. One's better than the other one, but maybe one that you're more comfortable in.
They're different. St. Joe's is a bigger, more comprehensive hospital, and Memorial's a lot easier to deal with. You know what I mean? It's much smaller. It's probably 1/3 to 1/4 the size of St. Joe's, but getting in and out's easier.
I know, but which one am I going to most likely not die in?
Well, it depends.
Which one has the best facility?
Well,
which one has the best equipment?
Well, St. Joe's probably because it's so much more bigger. It's so much more it's so much larger and more comprehensive of what it can do. But for 95% of what you could go in with, you got agita, you're constipated, you got the flu, something like that. then go to Memorial. It's much easier to get in and out of. It's easier for me to get in and out of. It's faster.
Memorial. Write that down. Memorial
Hospital. Got it.
Cush is going to need some medical attention, and he's going to make the ambulance from St. Pete take him clear to Memorial in Tampa so Dr. Dan can work on him.
My mom did that. She got in an accident in Clearwater, and she made the ambulance take her to St. Joseph's.
I've always been somewhat cost conscious. Does your insurance pay for? I guess it probably determines what type of health insurance you have, but who pays for the meat wagon ride? Do you pay?
Usually
they
insurance.
do?
Yeah, I've never seen a bill. I've gotten a couple meat rides. How many? Have you been in an ambulance before?
Yeah. I
guess you got the car accident, the race accident, right?
No.
Really? That one? You're just in the back of a station wagon?
Well, the medic checked me out there, and he said, "I think you're concussed. Do you want to go to the hospital?" I'm like, "No. What are they going to do for me there? I mean, a concussion, I don't think you can really treat it at the hospital. They can probably diagnose it at the hospital, but
they could also put you on steroids, get the swelling down, maybe cool you off. It depends.
Don't tell Macho Man that you get steroids if you get a concussion. He'll go smash his head against the wall right now.
He's been doing it all morning.
Take a bump.
Oh yeah, take a bump.
So when did you go by ambulance, Bubba?
I never. The only time I went on an ambulance is really something I don't like to talk about. But when my son flipped 7 times at a USAC show here at my track, and he had a detached retina. He's in USAC. I forget what year that was. Might have been 16, 17. And he's driving a 410 non-wing here at Bubba Raceway Park, Ocala Speedway. And he's coming off of 2, and he's getting ready to do a bonsai wheelie on the high side going into 3. And and this was for whoever finished 3rd in this heat race, started on the pole for the feature. And here he is, 15, would have been a really big time racing accomplishment. And he's putting it up on the high side of 3, and he miscalculated, and the guy in front of him kind of moved up a little bit, and Tyler right rear hit the wall, and I think he's flipped 7 times, and then his car stuck. On the last flip, instead of just flipping and landing on its wheels, it because the moisture of the track up was really, 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 really wet and sticky, and his car just stuck right into the ground, and he had a double detached retina. So me and Larry Plummer was here, and we were first on the scene because it's my track. So
you're in the infield.
Yeah, so I'm in the infield. We go up there, and I remember turning as it's happening, as he's flipping in the air 7 times. Bam, bam. I turn to Larry and I go, "He's dead." I was so freaked out that I was first on the scene, that I was going to get to him and it not be good. It ended up being not that bad, but I get up to him, to his car. I said, "Tyler, are you okay?" And he just said, I can't see. And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, I can't, I'm completely blind right now. And I'm like, "Oh God." Oh man. So then the ambulance comes, and they put him in the back of the ambulance. And I said, can I ride with him? And so they're like, "Yeah, you can ride with him." So his mom was here at the races, and they wouldn't let him and her, or her and I ride. So she followed me with her husband, the ambulance to, I think is it Shands, to Shands.
Really? He went to Shands, huh?
Yeah. And then, then they take him right to the emergency room, and they let me stand outside the emergency room, and there's 6 doctors over him. He's laying there. And you know what, what I was most mad about? All they had to do was unzip his race suit and pull it off. And this is a $3,000 race suit. Race suits are.
They cut it.
They cut it, and I'm like, I'm yelling in the operating room. Now I'm, literally probably from Seth to maybe where Lummy is, as far as they left the operating room door open so that I could see. And they got these, these shears out, and they're cut. I'm like,
and they'll start
no!
at the cuff at the ankle, and they'll go up the leg, across the body, down the arms. Yeah,
you could see that. I mean, his legs weren't broken. His legs weren't broken. The only thing he was complaining of was he couldn't see, and so his eyes, when he would open them up, they were massively red, completely like blood. They were full of blood, and so that's what the issue at hand is here. So why are you cutting his race suit off at the ankles?
Major trauma.
He's not yelling that I got a broken ankle or a broken, leg or anything like that. And I'm like, no. They're like, sir, we usually don't allow people even in here, but we're allowing you. And they literally had this little red box that they made me like on the ground with tape that they made me stand in. And then, so they're all working on him, and they got IVs in him, and they're and then they do all these brain scans and all this kind of deal for his head, and that all checks out okay. And then he stays like I think 2 days at the hospital, and then we had to start going and seeing eye specialists from that point forward. Jeez. And but man,
that's scary. Nothing
is more humbling or scary than to ride in an ambulance with your kid on the gurney. That, I mean, I'm crying like a little bitch, talking to Tyler, being like, listen, little buddy, can you see yet? No, Dad, I can't see. I'm like, well, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And then he's like, well, what if I can't see ever again? And I go, I don't know. I don't know, bud, but we're going to be okay. We're going to the right place to take care of you.
Yeah, that's hard.
His mom's calling me up, and she's crying, and she's frantic. What's going on in there? And I go, well, there's really nothing going on in here. The medics aren't treating him because I don't think there's anything to do. I mean, right, Dan? I mean, I know if you can't see.
Well, you get the ophthalmology in there, and they either drain the blood or they tack the retina back down to the back of the eyeball. I mean, there's a couple things they can do. Ooh. They probably put you on mannitol to lower the pressure inside your eye because your pressure increases.
I think that's what they did, and we took him to this really, really good eye. I don't know if you recommended him or somebody recommended him, this really good eye surgeon in Clearwater, and he's like, listen, they're not completely detached. They're torn, but I don't feel comfortable about going in and reattaching them. I feel comfortable that in 3 months they will repair themselves, and they did.
Yeah.
He still has a couple.
Spots.
I think one of his eyes, he has a couple, like maybe a little blurred vision or maybe a floater or something like that. But eye
still
surgery,
miraculous recovery.
Eye surgery is sketch.
Yeah.
How do they get, Dan? When you do eye surgery, how do you get behind the eye? Like, do you go through the temple? Do you go through the eyelid? Like when you're doing, obviously you're not an eye doctor, but you probably know the procedure because
well, getting behind the eye is what we do. We don't get inside the eye; we get behind the eye. So when you have like an orbital fracture, like when a boxer has like a massive swollen eye, they've probably broken the eye socket. And I fixed that. That's when you have to get like behind the eye.
So my question is, how do you get behind the eye? Where do you go in from?
You do like a lower lid incision and then go straight to that bone right where your cheek and the eye meet. You go right underneath it, right there. You just make a little incision right in your lower lid diagonally, and then you get right to that little bony ledge.
You can feel that ledge right there, right?
And you just go right underneath it. Yep, and you can scoop it up and. There's a little membrane when you get an orbital fracture. Sometimes you get what they call an orbital floor fracture, and that bottom of your eye socket, which is like imagine like an ice cream cone, it breaks, and when it breaks, it can trap the muscles, and you can't move your eyeball. So then you have to free up the muscles and repair the.
And you got
bottom.
frozen eye, Willie. You're just like
you get double vision because your eye doesn't move like the other eye. Yeah. It doesn't quite freeze. It just lags.
I wonder if when Foreigner wrote the song "Double Vision," I wonder if that was because somebody got some type of eye trauma.
Or
remember
plastered, or plastered. When you get plastered, you have double vision too. When you get really drunk, when you get really, 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 messed up on drugs.
Let's throw it over to our resident drunk, Lummy. Have you ever, honest to God, gotten double vision?
Of course, you would get that. You got to close one eye and then
Yeah, exactly.
Walk with one eye.
Let me hold on. What are you, pirate?
It works.
It works. Then you can at least you're not seeing double vision.
So hold on,
Lummy. You know which one to swing at.
you know so you, Lummy, know how to remedy double vision.
Yeah, you just see how you go one different eye, depending on the eye.
Lummy, have you ever driven home with your hand over, eye patch Willie?
Oh, yes, a very long time ago, which was very irresponsible of me in college, but never again.
You did an eye patch?
Huh?
Lummy.
You got to keep it on there.
Lummy, I don't know who's working the horn, but I need a horn. Susan Poitras stepped up, the badass Hall of Famer that she is, and she threw in 100 on the PayPal for Susan P. Poitras. I love her. Can she get a horn, please? Here we go. Is Macho on the controls today, or we got Sethy?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, yeah, I got Macho Man. Seth came to me early on and said he gets a little bit of anxiety when he's got to sit in a big chair. He wants to go back to his regular chair, dang it!
Yeah, I like my spot.
Well, I've been I've been in the bed of the gurney of an ambulance twice, and it's not cool.
Hold on, as a patient?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, now when I got hit when I got hit by a car when I was in 4th grade, I got hit. That's when I had a fractured skull, hematoma on the brain.
That's scary.
And all that. And the ambulance comes, and it was only like about a mile and a half from where I lived, and my mom drove up there because in small town Warsaw, it was right by the Burger Dairy little convenience store, and so I got hit by a woman. I was just riding my bike in the parking lot, and this old bag hit me from behind, and I went over her hood and everything, and got a fractured skull, hematoma, bruise on my brain. My skull was fractured from ear to ear.
Jesus.
And so they wanted to take me to the hospital. So an ambulance shows up. Well, my mom shows up too. And all I can remember, Lummy, is watching Emergency 51 and as a kid, and they put you in the back of that damn meat wagon and they start sticking you with needles and everything. And I'm like, no, I can't remember any of this. I'm like, no. So they let my mom take me to the hospital, which I don't even know that they would do that in today's environment.
They could.
Okay.
They can't force you in the ambulance.
BJ gifted 10 or 20 memberships.
On YouTube.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That is so kick-ass for us.
Thanks, Bill. You're the man.
So, Dan, the one opportunity I probably had a chance to be on a gurney, I flipped out because I was afraid of needles back then, and my mom took me, and then I got transferred to Fort Wayne because our little hospital couldn't handle what I was doing. And Dan, that's when this is like 1973, 74. Maybe 72. I don't know. And so, Dan, they thought maybe I had a clot in my brain. And I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know this.
Hematoma.
I don't know if you knew this technique or not. And maybe this is like some 1970s stuff. But in order to, because I know they didn't have MRIs, they only had X-rays back then.
They had pneumoencephalograms, they would call it. So they'd blow air.
I don't know if anybody in Indiana had a pneumoencephalogram.
Well, that's all they had. That's all they had.
Oh, okay.
That was the precursor to the a CT scan of the head.
So they had to inject the veins in my neck with dye, and then do imaging that way. And I can remember, man, they put me on a little bit of a sedative, but I wasn't under, and they were putting needles in my neck and injecting them into your main, like whatever your blood flow arteries are into your neck to get. And my whole family was waiting for the results. We waiting for it, and I didn't have any. That was what they were most concerned about, is that I had some type of clotting in my brain, and I didn't. So I just had a fractured skull, and so I just had to. They sent me home after 2 weeks, and
you spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. It's when Doug Clem slapped me across the face. I had a fractured skull, a hematoma on the brain, and my skull was fractured from ear to ear. And my mom watched me. She was there every day, but she eventually had to go home and take care of Tara and do laundry and stuff like that. So she let Doug Clem watch me for one day. And my mom had promised me that she was going to sneak me in McDonald's this day because I was hospital food's really, really advanced since the 70s.
Yeah, but it's never been great.
Right. So I was so sick of hospital food. And so I'm like, I'm not eating this anymore. And they had this green bean casserole kind of nonsense. I told Doug Clem, I am not eating this. And my dad goes, you are eating this. And I go, no, I'm not. And he slapped me across the face.
What a dick.
Hold on. Now, I got major head trauma going on here.
What a dick.
Yeah. He gave me the good news right across the chops.
It's like punching a pregnant chick in the tummy. It's stupid.
And the nurse walked in and saw it. and she went and got the doctor, like their version of Dan Diaco, and he cut a promo on my dad, and he said, "You're lucky we don't call child services on you, you know, this and this." So my dad, thank God, my dad got banned from the hospital from seeing me, which means was great because then my mom was the only one that could be there with me, and she would sneak me in McDonald's.
That's
so
nice.
it was pretty good to take a lick there.
So a couple things, Bubba. This explains why you're a little effed up in the head. You had a significant head trauma as a child.
Yeah.
You were never going to be normal, Bubba. You were always going to be Bubba. You were never going to be a normal kid.
Maybe that head trauma caused me to be, snap into this, whack job.
Absolutely.
I think this is why Bubba needs therapy, because instead of, these random, trauma-filled occurrences that happened in his childhood, rather than popping him out on, the radio, he can go sit down with the therapist and figure out these other 10, 15 times in his life that maybe he's forgotten about, but maybe where his dad did slap him around in front of some other people or
well, hold on, man. I think it coming out of the radio is what's made me, and I don't want to just sit there and give some therapist all this great content for free. Well, bitch, I mean,
exactly.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
let me be a therapist.
Jesus.
But Bubba, no,
hold on.
seriously.
Radio has been my therapy. That's what's been my therapy.
I agree. And, I had a significant head trauma in college. I had a subdural hematoma. So epidural is above the dura, which is this like hard, really unflexible membrane around your brain. And when you have a skull fracture like you had, Bubba, usually it's what's called an epidural hematoma. If you don't have the fracture...
you could push the side of my head in.
Yeah, that's epidural. So I had a subdural hematoma, which is similar. I just didn't have the skull fracture. And I spent, like 7 days in the hospital. And I've never been the same. There's no way. I have definitely a changed person after that injury.
So... like, in the latter years, am I going to get the Muhammad Ali shakes and stuff like that? Because remember Muhammad Ali, but I mean, he took major head trauma for 40 years of fighting. I mean, I just hit my head a couple of them.
You're going to have like that Joe Namath inappropriateness for the rest of your life.
What do you mean?
He's a little inappropriate sometimes, and so are you.
How's Joe Namath? I mean, I just heard he was a drunk. I didn't hear that he was inappropriate. Joe Namath.
He's a little inappropriate sometimes. Yes, he has been. And what was that?
But at least now. But hold on. At least now I got an excuse to be like, listen, I've had major head trauma.
Head trauma, bro. You got it.
Hold on. Combine that with some major, other type of trauma, emotional and mental trauma, like the Hogan sex tape and all the scandals that I've been involved in. And you can, it's a wonder I'm not in a mental hospital.
Your brain is like the back of a manatee, man. It's all scarred up, but that's okay because you're surviving. You're a survivor.
Too many props have hit my back of my head, Lummy, and I got prop scars in the back of my head. I'm a floating manatee, is what I am. Thank you, Dan. You know what, Dan? I really love you being my best friend. You just compared me to a goddamn manatee.
Yeah, that's nice.
But it was a scarring, not a weight thing.
When I was really, really, really heavy, I think I've told this story before. When I was really, 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 really at my fattest, and I was Uncle Bruce, one bad dude, had this boat, and it was when I first came to Florida, circa 92, 93, Lummy, when I'm just absolutely, fat.
Were you swimming by the power plant?
What do you mean?
That's where the manatees hang out in the warm water?
No. So we go to Rainbow River. Has anybody ever been to Rainbow River?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It is.
It's awesome.
It's Silver Springs.
It's like Silver Springs, and Dan, it's the clearest, most beautiful. It's a spring-fed river that you can see the bottom to, and all these boats go out there, and you do like a little snorkeling, and it's just really, really a cool experience. Well, he's like, hey, Bubba, I'm gonna take you down to. It's when I was dating Holly. Take you down to Rainbow River, and you can do snorkeling and stuff. Well, I was very fat and very subconscious about not having my shirt off. So I wore just an all blue, long, like T-shirt. And,
oh boy.
And so I'm snorkeling around the boat a little bit and just kind of looking for stuff. And I come up and Uncle B's laughing. I go, what's so funny? He goes, the boat beside us thought you were a manatee. They thought that, and I had to tell them that it was my nephew, my fat nephew. But they thought you were a manatee.
Did they throw lettuce at you? Did they throw lettuce at you?
No, they didn't. Is that what manatees eat? Or lettuce?
They're vegetarians.
No, watch people start sending me lettuce. Oh, Lummy, if they do, it'll go right to the goats. Don't they love lettuce?
Oh, they love lettuce. Yeah.
So, Lummy, before we go into words, by the way, Susan Poitras, thank you so much to prove me that our PayPal is not broken. And Lummy, we must have just been so low that it wasn't. Now it's giving me the transfer option. So, maybe you have to be over $100 in the account, which we usually have, but maybe in order to give them, to transfer. So it looks like our PayPal hasn't been hacked, and we are indeed intact. And Susan Poitras was the one that proved that with her huge donation to the show. Thank you so much, Susan. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Let me, when I return, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl licks, 59 a little bit. Hotel rooms are, oh my God, I'm not even going to give you the payoff as to what hotel rooms are. And then did you guys, I don't know I think Seth sent me from Fox 29. I'm assuming it's a Philadelphia, based television station, and they're doing a live shot on Bourbon Street, like for the morning show. And this drunk dude pulls up. This drunk Eagles fans with 3 African-American women from Brooklyn as if he pulled a train with them all night long.
Is that what you think happened?
Oh, of course it did, Seth.
Well,
Look at it.
Hold on, Seth. I'll tell you what. That was my interpretation of it. I don't know what yours was, but we can actually see what, and we'll play it next and see what pops into everybody's mind first. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
There's probably some African-American women from Brooklyn that are down there working like strippers and hookers. They'll work the circuit. So, like, remember when the Super Bowl would come to Tampa, strippers from, like, L.A. and Vegas and stuff.
Atlanta.
Atlanta would invade Tampa for the weekend and go strip at, Mons or 2001 or the Dollhouse.
Well, the French Quarter strippers are pretty rough, so they need some augmentation.
Well, yeah. Wait till you see these three women. I don't know if they're strippers, but they might be hookers. And this white dude from Philadelphia might have ran through all 3 of them.
Really?
Well, maybe. I don't know. That was my interpretation. I think Seth maybe interprets it that he just was having a good time with some Nubian queens.
A 4-way or not a 4-way? That is the question.
Yeah. Well, yes. We'll get to that next on the Bubba Radio Network.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
That wasn't the one I normally use.
Were you not signed in on here? Is that why?
No, that's not the one I normally use.
Well, maybe you should use the one you know.
Is Red here?
Well, I can find my laptop.
I can fly high.
And on-demand Bubba and the crew after this. Back after this.
Thank you, Susan Poitras.
For the Love Sponge show after this.
TNT. Just heat.
HQ.com will be back after these words. HQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
Well, where was Afterbirth? Good morning.
And past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be right back.
So, Haddock.
HQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be right back.
69. Thank you. Good morning.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be right back.
Want to hear that 3 more times?
Sorry, some of that stuff is getting cut off on the air, so I made the crossfade marker wait a little bit longer. So on the air, you hear like right back up and cut off the back.
Jeez, no one. Good morning. Big Lunner. Mitch the mark. What's up, Bama boy? Big E.
Thank you.
What's up, Bushak? Retarded.
I got Macho's food right here. Good thing I looked.
TJ, where I agree with you think, but they do that. It's good for all of us. They do it for New Year's. Anyone's gonna get in trouble in New Orleans. Guru. Dark Match Steve. Good morning, buddy. This is our C's. Yankee Jib. Very good. Hey, Rock. What's up, buddy Bob? Good morning. Charles Klein.
Your food? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it right when I was coming in.
I didn't update the Fox weather.
What's that?
I didn't win that Fox weather.
Oh, I like it.
No, I didn't update it.
Yeah.
So. Outside the door.
Fuck off.
No, that's not.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army, of course, across all types of different visual formats. We got YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, X, BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Yes, sir.
What else? Do I sound a little underwatery again, or am I okay?
You sound great.
Okay, cool. And that was break 2, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Room situation in New Orleans not getting much better if you're looking for a place to stay Saturday or Sunday. Did you guys see this? Now, this is a 3.5-star hotel, which Dan, you know, having done your residency in New Orleans may be familiar, or this place could have just been popped up since you've been there.
No,
but the Lafayette, New Orleans,
it's been there
by Casa, which is in the Arts and Warehouse District, how close is that to Bourbon Street?
It's not too far. If you go down Canal Street towards the river, to the left is Bourbon Street, and to the right's like the Warehouse District.
What was that? Now, not trying to get you in trouble with anybody, but obviously we're talking about what years circa. Obviously, this is before you had a family. This is before you had your lovely wife. This is before you established your craziness here in Tampa. You left Tampa as a kid to go to, I think you did your undergrad at Duke. and then did your medical school portion at University of Florida.
Correct.
And then would visit your brothers in Tallahassee while you were in med school.
Right.
Roll up with a black Porsche. And here's your two broke brothers that, just have a really, really badass house next to the stadium. And you literally would go and I heard literally, we're just going to call them, you would just pick them off like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay. Now, then after you got out of med school and in Gainesville, your residency, I think so when you get done and do you have to pass the medical bar before you do residency? I'm assuming you have to.
There's different types of boards, and the board I did had 3 parts to it. And so you took the first part after your first 2 years of medical school. You took the second part like in your 4th year, and you took the third part after your first year of your internship or residency. So it was weird. So there's 3 parts to it, and then you're a doctor, but you're not a specialist in anything.
Right.
So you're there for 3 years.
You're just a doctor.
Right.
And then you got, at that point, after you do your residency, isn't a residency like 3-4 years?
It's between 3 years and 10 years, depends on what you do. So
you were in New Orleans for how long doing your residency?
I'd signed up for a 5-year package, which was the normal general surgery residency. And then at the time, these combination plastic surgery, general surgery residencies were just starting. There's only like 30 spots in the whole country. After my first year of residency, that like doubled. And so these new spots started becoming available. And I was able to jump ship after 3 years and then go from general into plastic. So I did 3 of general, 3 of plastics.
So, I mean, if you're going to be a doctor and you get your residency done, first of all, you get your undergrad, then you get your medical school, and then you get your residency, which could fluctuate how many years. I mean, how long have you gone to school and been a resident before you can actually go out and start a practice? 10. I mean, are you 31 at this point?
32. I was 32.
Yeah.
It was
So you're 32.
8 plus 6. It was 14 years.
Wow. And as a resident, I don't know that they pay you, but not a lot, right?
Oh man, my first year of residency, I think I made $18,000 the year. I was working I was working 100-hour weeks and making $18,000. I made less than the guys at McDonald's. It was less than minimum wage.
And you're saving lives, right? I mean, because you were in. And of all, did you when you had a pick of residencies, or is residencies so sacred that you really don't have your pick? You just got to go where they have an opening and where they'll take you.
It's like rushing a fraternity. So there's bid night. And when you rank your fraternities and the fraternities rank you, you just get like an envelope. It's like, here you are. You're now a Kappa Alpha. So you go through all these residencies and then you rank them. And then they rank you, and then one day everybody gets an envelope, and this is either you got in at this certain place or you got nothing. And if you don't strategically plan it correctly, you could end up with nothing, with zero.
Did you have anybody that you went to medical school with that didn't get got nothing?
Got nothing, and then they start scrambling trying to find holes in other residency programs that didn't fill, and they end up working at a small community hospital outside of Ocala. It's not the same.
That's great. That's great. So anyway, what years were you in New Orleans?
92 to 95.
92 to 95.
Right before Katrina.
Was there any Super Bowls in New Orleans when you were there?
Florida State played the national championship there against Florida.
Well, that's not a Super Bowl, Dr. Van.
That was more important.
But hold on. I got to think Florida State playing who?
Florida.
Florida State, Florida for the national championship game in New Orleans brings a whole lot better crowd than Eagles and Chiefs fans, drunken Eagles. I got to think there's a lot of...
a bunch of chicks with mustaches, fat guys that are hairy, and then people from the Midwest.
No. That's not Florida State versus Florida.
No, that's Philly versus Kansas.
Right.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is Florida State v. Florida.
Skinny chicks.
Just hot sorority chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Way better crowd.
Right now, man, the Lafayette in New Orleans is 3,000. And I got to think that any of the places, because if I remember right, Dan, there's hotels that are literally right across the street from the dome where they play.
Oh yeah, there's tons of hotels. New Orleans is set up as a convention city, so I mean, there's tons of convention space and tons of lodging.
So can you imagine what like that Marriott or Hilton or whatever fancy restaurant, hotel that's within walking distance of the Dome, what that's going for? If the Lafayette, New Orleans, which what would you say, Dan, arguably is a 3-mile walk, if not further, to the Dome? Like you probably couldn't
it's pretty close. It's probably a mile.
So it's a mile.
Yeah,
okay.
because when I lived in the warehouse district, I lived right across the street from the convention center, where where they made all the black people sit for 2 weeks and wouldn't let them leave, even though they could have literally walked out of there across a bridge.
You mean during Hurricane Katrina?
Yeah, it was horrible what they did.
So hold on, what did they do to why only black people?
Well, that's because that's all they had there. It was just black people at the convention center. There's 2 places where people were hunkered down during post storm. It was in the Superdome, and they trashed it. And it was in the convention center. But the convention center was literally 10 yards from an on-ramp to a bridge that would lead them to what they called the West Bank, which is over the Mississippi River. And the towns on the West Bank wouldn't let them in. So they made
black people.
They didn't want
2,000
black people. They didn't want 2,000.
Let me tell you something. No black people here. This is just a little bit of a walk to get to higher and safer ground, but no black people. Although Gene Lasker did, if you guys remember correctly, I don't know what triggered this on Friday. I don't know if you're talking about DEI hires or something like that. I think we were talking about the plane crash and just DEI hires versus non-DEI hires, and Lasker proclaimed himself to be a DEI Lasker powder coating / Buffalo Avenue powder coating. And do you remember he said, when I get to work, I'm giving my black guy $100 bill.
Yes, right.
Because he's a hell of a worker, and I appreciate him.
I met that guy on Friday, and Gene gave him $100.
Oh yeah, Gene doesn't. Gene doesn't. If he's going to give you $100, that had to be pretty cool. That black guy working at Gene's, busting his ass. Gene finally appreciating him, rolling up in Big Gene's white trash redneck dually and saying, "Let me tell you something, Jay." We asked him what the guy's name was, and Gene didn't even know. Remember?
Yeah, Jay something.
I think it's Jerome or something. But when I get there, man, I'm going to give him a $100 bill because I got me a really hard-working black guy. I like him, and he does a good job. He does such a good job that I can come do this stupid radio show on Fridays, and Jay Rome or something, whatever his name, he's running the whole show. So I'm going to give him a $100 bill. So anyway, man, if you want to stay at the Lafayette, New Orleans, which Dan says is about a mile walk from the Dome, but it's only a 3.5 star, rating, which I don't know. I mean, is it
old warehouse?
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
a converted old warehouse.
Look at it. It's the warehouse district. Look at the outside.
Oh, okay.
It's an old warehouse from the 20s. It's a 100-year-old building.
So if you want to stay there, man, $3,731 for the night. This is a person that booked this for a 2-night minimum for $8,582. I'm sorry. Television really does a good job on covering the game. I'm not paying $9,000 to sleep in a warehouse 1 mile from the stadium, then the 1 mile walk. You can't get an Uber or nothing for 1 mile. The 1 mile walk, Lummy, and then what? Then what are tickets going for?
Probably $8,000.
First of all, the average guy, the average enthusiast, the average Chiefs fan, the average Eagles fan probably can't afford a ticket because the Super Bowl has gotten so corporate that corporations buy these big blocks of tickets and spiff their clients and employees and things like that. So I just don't know that if you're an Eagles fan and as soon as they won the NFC Championship, if you can get online and try to find a ticket, I don't know. What are ticket prices going for right now?
Right now, the lowest one in Terrence level, $621. So this would be the cheapest ticket, $3,152 each.
What about a decent ticket? $8,000?
If I want to be on the 50.
Hold on. Let me. Let's say you wanted to be up in the nosebleed section. Okay,
that's the $3,100 ticket.
How much?
$3,100
for nosebleed.
So did I tell you last year I was watching the Super Bowl? And I was on, they have all kinds of different apps for tickets. Yeah. I have Ticketmaster has an app and Stub. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones. And was it at SoFi Stadium last year? I think it might have been.
I think a couple years ago. It's when the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So it might have been. It might have been. So it might have been a couple years ago. And so I'm on the app, and Lummy, I see these 2 tickets I'm not going. I'm sitting in my hotel room. I mean, I'm sitting in my apartment in Tampa, Florida. I ain't going to the game. But I was just trying to see ticket pricing and stuff like that. And so there were these 2 tickets that were like on the 45-yard line, lower bowl, like 10 rows up. And so they started out like an hour before the game, the kickoff time, they were like $16,000. And then 30 minutes before the kickoff, they were like $8,000. And then literally at kickoff time, they hadn't sold. And at kickoff time, they were like $1,200. So, like, if you were like, Lummy, haven't you done that before?
Yeah, I
where
sit outside the stadium.
literally, sit outside the stadium, keep refreshing, and then the closer you get to the national anthem and the opening ceremonies, those things start dropping like rocks.
Oh, the minute you see the flyover go over the stadium is when it almost drops like 50% instantly.
And so, now at that
flyover
point
is the moment. That's where everyone's like, okay, I'm done.
And then,
it's not the black national anthem.
It's not like physical tickets; they just electronically transform to you, right?
Correct.
Right. And if it's through a reputable ticket, I mean, like, you're not dealing with shady ass Guido on the side of the road. You're dealing with, a reputable ticket place. So you're going to get them.
Because a shady ass guy on the side of the road may have fraudulent tickets. You don't know.
Right.
You're probably safer doing it electronically.
Right. I mean, in fact, I think has anybody, Seth, have you used any of these ticket, app-based ticket brokers before?
Yeah, but I've never bought. I've never scalped any tickets or anything like that.
I did it when
or sat outside the stadium and waited to the last minute and then bought them right over the flyover. I think you've been responsible and you bought them, at least a day before.
Well, I mean, I would go with somebody if that was their plan, but I don't think I could ever execute that plan on my own. I'd want to be inside by the time the game was about to start.
Yeah, I'm too nervous. I'd be like, I need to get my seats. I need to be. Dan, remember that one time we all went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was fun.
Together?
Yeah,
I forget what. We used Daddy Joe's hookups, and I think we got like 8 seats, and it was me and Jimmy Clevis and you and Jay and Dan, Steve.
Yeah, it was fun.
And do you remember Fabrizi was with us? Mm-hmm. Remember? Mm-hmm. And we were. Wasn't that the Giants Ravens game or the? Was
it Arizona?
No,
it was before that.
It's when Trent Dilfer came back to Tampa with the Ravens and won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I don't know. Lummy, who did they play that?
Yeah,
Ravens Giants. Ravens Giants. So me and all the Diacos and Jimmy Clevis and Fabrizi, we're all in this limo and we're going and remember we parked in the Channel 28 parking lot. Remember that?
Yep.
And we had a hookup there. We walked across the street and Fabrizi. Now he bought his tickets, so he was in a couple rows behind us. I was on the Daddy Joe hookup, and all the Diaco guys were on the Daddy Joe hookup. So the caveat to that hookup is you can't sell them.
Right.
You can't scalp them because Daddy Joe will flip out. Mm-hmm. Daddy Joe pulled some strings for us to get the amount of tickets that we needed. It was all done through the Bucks, and but Fabrizi had bought his own tickets. He had 2 of them. And if you remember, we're in the Channel 28 parking lot, and somebody offers Fabrizi, I think it was $4,000 for 2.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hi guys, I'll be at the Dollhouse watching the game. Come pick me up at the Dollhouse when you're done, or join me."
I couldn't believe he did it, and it was so smart.
It was so smart. Yeah. Dan said, "Man, I would love to have $2,000 right now because we only had single tickets. But we could. I mean, at that time, Lemmy, they were going as we were walking into the stadium. They were going for $2,000 a ticket. But we had good seats too. We were on the 30-yard line, Buck side, halfway up. I mean, we had great seats.
They were good tickets. When I went to the Super Bowl, I won a set of tickets to the Super Bowl in the poker tournament when Kansas City played in Miami about 2000. I think it was 2020. It was February 2020. And they were still doing the paper tickets more than electronic tickets. And so I was able to sell one of my tickets for I think I sold all 3 tickets for over $20,000. But I had to actually dump them off at a tent near the stadium. They actually wanted the physical tickets back then. And that was only 5 years ago.
So at that point, you still took your 1 ticket and went to the game, right?
Nope. I went home and I laughed.
With $20,000?
With $20,000.
Wow.
Plus.
Here is that story I was talking about earlier. Eagles arrive in New Orleans. I don't think this is the story. So Fox 29, I think, is based out of Philadelphia. They have this really, really hot chick that's kind of like on Bourbon Street, like at 5. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm assuming this is yesterday's like Fox 29 Philadelphia's morning show. You know, the local channels all have a morning show. And especially Fox affiliates, because I don't think Fox has a national, like, I don't know, NBC's either Good Morning America, one of them's Today. You know, those some of the networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, have their own national morning show, and then they'll cut to the local affiliates for some just drop-ins. But I think all Fox affiliates across the country actually have their own local morning show. Like, you know, obviously Fox 13 in Tampa have their own morning show. Who is it? Laura Moody, Jen Epstein. And is it Walter? Is a guy named Walter?
Yeah, there's a Walter guy out there.
So that's the Tampa lineup, and wherever you're listening to this, you have a local Fox show as well. So this is the local Fox 29 Philadelphia affiliate. Starting this is 6 a.m. Philadelphia time. Yesterday in Philadelphia it was 29 degrees at 6 a.m. And this is them doing a live shot, I think, on Bourbon Street. Throwing it, so they open up Fox 29. Good morning, Philadelphia. We're going to throw it out to LaQuisha Jones, live in Bourbon Street.
You were there,
but
we on? Why are you there by yourself? Well, I tried to find them, and I couldn't.
Are we on?
So hold on. Just look at that ensemble. Now, this woman right here is the television host. She's the woman, from the television station. And this dude obviously is a Philadelphia fan, and he's partying with 3 black girls, and he proclaims that they're from Brooklyn, and he obviously sees a live camera, so they gravitate. All drunks usually gravitate to a live camera.
Well, it's like they just come out of the fog, too.
Right. They just came here. Let me just kind of here we go. They just kind of came out of. It almost feels staged.
Yeah,
it almost feels staged, but I wouldn't think that a major Fox affiliate in Philadelphia would stage something like this.
You were there,
but
we on? Why are you there by yourself? Well, I tried to find them, and I couldn't.
Are we on?
Oh my! Wow! Yes, we're on TV. Do you know what time it is? Seriously?
Man, look at this action right here. Look at that fupa.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, ladies. They're from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
New York.
in the house. Very nice. Did y'all have a good night?
Now, hold on. I think this guy is actually a host because, Lummy, if you look,
he's got an earpiece.
He's got an IFB earpiece.
He does.
Right. Yeah. See right here.
I saw that.
So this might be
a hearing aid. Is it a hearing aid?
No. I think this guy is actually part of this news team. I think he works for the television station, and he picked up some party girls.
That's even better.
That makes it better, doesn't it? I hope he keeps his job because this is so cool.
Oh, no, I mean,
as bad as the bosses may want to try to make this, I think this is cool.
That's Mike Jurek. He's a co-anchor of Good Day Philadelphia from 6 to 10.
And he's mic'd
Seth,
up.
what are you saying? What are you saying, Seth?
I would say he's probably in on the bit. I mean,
he's got a mic on.
I know, but I'm just saying I don't know why you go, hey, we're going to bring 3 women over that might look like streetwalkers from Brooklyn, and we're going to do a bit of. I mean, on the news that kind of is a stretch, but I like it.
It's a very big stretch, but I love it. Let's see where it goes.
In the house. Very nice. Did y'all have a good night?
Yes, we did. It was awesome.
It looks like it.
I got a lot of beads, and I got a grenade. Is this called a grenade?
Yes.
Yes. What exactly is in it again?
We don't know. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Get you where you need to go.
This guy's tanked, and he's supposed to be doing mornings.
Yeah.
Well, every time somebody said "Go Birds," I ate a beignet.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
What's a beignet?
A beignet is like a pastry with a little sugar on it.
Is it a New Orleans?
Yeah, it's almost like a donut, but it's square.
Is it a Cajun kind of New Orleans
Creole? It's a French thing. It's a French thing.
Right.
Okay.
No, seriously. Thank you,
coffee.
ladies. Maybe I'll see you again tonight. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. New Orleans is something, isn't it?
Apparently, I wouldn't know. I was in.
Wow, that's one hell of an entrance, is it not?
Yeah.
You can't script it any better than that.
Man,
3 African American women from Brooklyn, and then your mind just wanders as to what.
Philly really is tougher than we are because we're freaked out by this bit that they just did with hookers and stuff like that. But that's what just being in Philly's all about is just getting hookers, going on the news, doing all that. I think we're just soft now.
And I think pretty much everybody's soft except Philly. Philly's like, man, our Fox affiliates are the co-anchor's gonna roll up with 3 potentially, hookers
and alcohol.
And alcohol, talk about how he was drinking grenades all night, and then open the show up at 6:00 from Bourbon Street with the I don't know what producer thought of this, but give that guy an attaboy, right? Wow. It got our attention.
To wake up for the show.
Look how many beads I got last night.
And I won't even ask what you had to do to get those.
So we're at Cafe Du Monde. If you've ever been to New Orleans, that is iconic back there.
Dan, is that iconic?
Yes.
Cafe Du Monde.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's just a
known for its
legendary
beignets, and that's where you get your beignets.
All right, that's where you get. That's where you get your beignets.
I
okay.
went there with my mom, and got beignets and coffee.
Really? Is that where Winona Judge shot her video with you?
No, it was close
Wasn't
by.
that shot in New Orleans?
Yes, it was. It wasn't at that place.
You think we could get her on? See, I didn't mean to do that. Is it already done? Is it over with? Okay, let's see. I think maybe it's over with.
Apparently, I wouldn't know. I was in bed to wake up for the show.
Look how many beads I got.
Okay, she's saying I was responsibly in bed to get up and this early to do more. And I think they even get to the set earlier than we do. And he's like, I'm out drinking grenades with 3 African American lovely women from Brooklyn. And the one girl, if you fast forward, this girl here is kind of cute.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, she's kind of cute. A lot cute. Yeah, like.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, ladies. They're from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the news reporter's pretty.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a good night?
Yeah, and the pink girls, all right.
She's thick, but the one with
the one on the left is fire.
Yes,
awesome.
It looks like it.
the reporter's pretty though too.
And I got to tell you, the reporter is very pretty.
She's pretty.
Maybe a little excessive on the fake eyelashes. Maybe.
And the weave.
But I'm not even really getting on the weave deal, but the fake eyelashes look like a couple of brooms going up and down.
And I got a grenade. Is this called a grenade?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is my 6th one, and I'm half in the bag, and we're live at 6:00.
He's got powdered sugar all over his face.
Yeah.
What exactly is in it again?
We don't know. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Is that powder? Wait, is that powder?
Don't worry about it. We're gonna
sugar?
we're gonna reverse P Diddy you. We'll meet you tonight. We're gonna roll you. We're gonna take that Rolex, and we're gonna take your wallet. We're gonna take all kind of thing. Because I think he says, I might see you tonight, ladies. Does he not say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think he does say that. Listen, hold on.
They're from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
New York.
in the house. Very nice. Did y'all have a good night?
Yes, we did.
It was awesome. It looks like it.
I got a lot of beads, and I got a grenade. Is this called a grenade?
Yes.
Yes.
And I think he says, I'll see you maybe tonight. Watch. So maybe he's already set up a rendezvous.
In it again?
We don't know. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm positive Philly's winning the Super Bowl now.
Oh yeah,
because of this. Yeah, because of this. Whatever this bit is.
I guarantee you, there's no Kansas City, anchors doing this cool bit, this type of bit.
Nope.
Bringing 3 African American hotties up here with a possible hooker, a backside kicker.
Bunch of bitches.
Every time somebody said "Go Birds," I ate a beignet.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously. Thank you, ladies. Maybe I'll see you again tonight.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you again tonight, which means I got your numbers. And when I'm not on camera, we're having us a full, a 4-way. Well, you did take a hell of a man to be able to keep up with those 3 stallions, would it not? Hell of a man.
Yes, a very dedicated man.
You let him break you, Seth?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. New Orleans is something, isn't it?
Apparently, I wouldn't know. I was in bed to wake up for the show.
Look how many beads I got last night.
And I won't even ask what you had to do to get those.
So we're at Cafe Du Monde. If you've ever been to New Orleans, that is iconic back there.
It is a place
There you go. So, I like it. Probably 99% of the television stations in America would not allow their hosts to do that, but it works for me.
It works great. It was a great bit. It promotes New Orleans and it promotes the Super Bowl and it promotes Philadelphia.
It makes me want to, I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of on the fence of who I'm rooting for, But I hate probably going to piss off some Kansas City Bubba Army, but I'm going for the Birds.
Really?
Because I'm rooting for the Birds.
It's a shame they have to play against 14 people every down.
And NFC. I'm an NFC guy. We all are.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yes.
Seth, who are you rooting for?
KC.
You're rooting for KC. You want that?
course.
Oh, because the Taylor Swift gimmick. Let's just be honest.
Yes.
I want to see history being made. I'd like to see Pat Mahomes, become the all-time greatest. And I like Taylor Swift a lot.
But does winning a third Super Bowl, a three-peat, if you will, make him the all-time greatest? I mean,
not yet.
No, but he's first place for all-time douchiness on great quarterbacks.
Why? Why would you say that?
Man, I'm so over Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a douchebag. I'm sorry, it's my personal opinion.
A lot of people think you're a douchebag.
I know they do.
Okay, so I'm just saying, and you've not even scratched the Super Bowl, let alone, hang out with Travis Kelce with a Taylor Swift kicker. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm pulling for the Eagles, but I don't think Patrick Mahomes is douchey. I think he's, a generational talent, to be honest with you.
He is a generational talent. He can still be a little douchey. I just don't really like him. I'm sorry. There's other quarterbacks I like better than him.
Hold on, but what does, he does State Farm commercials.
Douchey.
Okay?
I know.
What other Patrick Mahomes shoved down our throatness do we have to really absorb? He's not an Antonio Brown loudmouth distraction.
No.
He's a corporate kind of guy where he doesn't break the rules. He's well spoken.
His family's made him look stupid. His brother, his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, his wife at times.
There's been a lot of it. His brother absolutely made him look bad.
But it's not him. You don't think Steve says the same thing, that his brother makes him look stupid sometimes?
I think that's possible.
Okay. You don't think Tara has to absorb your brother looks stupid a lot? Being
I get it.
Being a fellow douche like you are, having siblings that probably have to absorb our douchiness. I personally have seen Patrick Mahomes' brother. I've seen his wife do some douchey things, but does that make him a douche? I mean, what has he really done douchey? I don't think anything, in my opinion.
And I think that his legacy has been tainted by some irregularities within the refereeing of their games. And I'm tired of the prima donna of the NFL getting all the lucky breaks. It's just not fair to the rest of the teams.
Let me throw it to the three other people in the studio that are familiar with sports, and that being Seth, Lummy, Rhett, that are, really, really sports. All of them are sports enthusiasts, pretty much are pretty well rounded on sports. Has Kansas City, and I want everyone to answer, has Kansas City really got that many breaks that would have allowed, have they gotten that many breaks for it to be such a problem, like on the level of Dan has, the level of the problem that Dan has it? Lummy, we'll start with you. We'll go to Rhett. We'll end with Seth.
I would say they've had a lot more than others. I'm just surprised that Dr. Dan is going against a fellow MAGA football player in Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not Captain MAGA, dude.
So, I mean, that just, he might have to turn in his MAGA hat. So
you may have to turn in your MAGA hat and stop sucking MAGA D because Patrick Mahomes is MAGA.
And again, I think he's a great generational talent. I agree. I'm just over him. I've been overexposed to him. It's like John Cena from a couple years ago. It's just too much. It's like Hogan now. It's too freaking much.
Well, there is 3 Hogan clips that we will play. Of course, we'll catch heat from the Trizzle saying Hogan. But listen, every radio personality, every content provider that provides, try to up-to-date pop culture news, if you will, men skewing. When Hogan appears on Pat McAfee, everybody's going to cover it.
Right. 40 minutes.
So I don't want to hear anybody, Hogan again. Bitch, he puts himself out there a few times a week on various podcasts, and I'm just a male skewing radio personality. Just because he had sex with my wife doesn't mean I can't cover stories. And when he goes on the Pat McAfee, Joe Rogan, and various other shows. So stop putting that on me, you little bitches.
No one's putting that on you. I wasn't putting that on you. I was just talking about commercial exposure.
Shut up, Dan. Don't make this about you. I wasn't making this about you. This is about our haters.
Oh.
I wasn't making this about you.
I thought you were mad at me.
No, I'm not mad at you at all.
But everyone hated Tom Brady till he came to Tampa. Remember? We all hated Tom Brady.
No. You think ask half the people in in Northeast, they love the guy.
Yeah, but
so,
he was the Patriots were. I mean, the Patriots were a hated team. People rooted for everybody against the Patriots.
But the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Right. When you get dynasties, when Duke was doing so well in basketball, everyone hated Duke for no good reason.
I love the Pats when they were winning. I thought Gronk was a great character. I mean, you wanted to see Tom Brady,
Edelman,
beat Tom Brady, and they played some great games. So, well, I mean, that
Aaron
too.
Hernandez.
He was.
Brett, over to you, and then Seth for you to close out. Have the Chiefs gotten that? I mean, is it that obvious that the referees are cheating for them?
I think when you look back on recent dynasties in the NFL, which really New England is the only comparison, I know that was 15 years longer, but it feels like they get more breaks than any other team I've ever seen. Not to say that they're not great, not to say that they don't have an all-time great head coach in Andy Reid. I think Pat Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest of all time. When it's all said and done, he's still got a bit to do to catch Tom Brady, but I mean, they get a lot of breaks, and it is no secret that they are the NFL's golden child right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then finally, Seth, over to you before we go into words, and then come back with, I guess massage parlors, and there's been this internet scuttlebutt. The kicker from the Baltimore Ravens has been taking his wiener around around Baltimore since 2021. There's been some tweets that have surfaced of people that were, warning people in the massage industry in Baltimore, don't let Justin Tucker come in and get a massage because he'll put his wiener on you. So, I mean, that's 4 years ago. So this sudden, what's it been, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 massage therapists that have come forward from the kicker from Baltimore, Justin Tucker, saying that he's doing his Deshaun Watson, take my wiener around the farm and give me a happy ending kind of deal. And it's been floated out there for 4+ years. We'll go through those tweets here momentarily. Seth Cush, you for the wrap up before we go into words on your opinion of, is KC a bunch of dirty ass cheaters, like the way Dan says?
I don't think so. I don't think football's rigged. I don't think football truly cares who's in the Super Bowl. I think you could put Arizona and Cleveland in there and people would still watch it no matter what. You have to get breaks for things to go your way. And I mean, I'm not saying that they're giving these breaks to the Chiefs on purpose, but to win a championship, to win 14 games, to run through the playoffs, you got to have a couple of things break your way. So I just think I think the Chiefs have learned how to win. I think that they put themselves in position, to have a close game or to be in every single game. And if it comes down to a call or two, it might go their way just because of how things have gone their ways over the last few years, where they've won a tremendous amount of games. I mean, Michael Jordan used to get calls. Patrick Mahomes is going to get calls. That's what happens when you're great.
So anyway, I'm go Birds.
Go Birds.
Who's Lummy? Are you Birds or KC?
I'm go Birds.
No, is that what you're going
fly,
for?
Eagle fly.
Dan, Birds, or you got to be rooting
I'm
for
the birds, and I just hope the refs don't alter the game.
Rhett, Birds or Chiefs?
Chiefs. I'd like to see history, and as a Bucs fan, I cannot consciously root for the Eagles.
I just want to see if they burn Philly down.
Macho. I'll tell you what I'm in for. I'm in for buys and tries the gym today. Yeah, I don't even know who's playing the game. Dig it. Don't even know who's playing. Won't be watching. Won't be caring. Nothing.
He won't even have it on for the commercials.
No, I'm not watching any of that. I could be supersetting tries on that, brother. And finally, and Seth, Chiefs. Oh yeah, we already know you're
Chiefs all day, baby.
You're a Swiftie. Back with the Justin Tucker, the dirty ass. Please take my wiener around the farm. God, how many times has he been to the Pro Bowl? I mean, he's arguably the best kicker in the league. Still, is he not?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think is the longest tenured best kicker. He's the veteran. He's like, who was the guy that played for New England for years and then went to the Colts?
Vinatieri.
He's kind of the modern day Adam Vinatieri, is he not?
He had a rough start to the year this season. He was inconsistent for a little while, but he came back around. Yeah, I think most people would say that he's been the best overall for the last 10 years at this point.
Well, he also likes his wiener. He likes going to get massages and happy endings, please. And this has been floating around. I don't understand. You're so high profile that you're in Baltimore, you only got two things going. You got the Ravens and you got the Orioles, right? They don't have a hockey team. They don't have a basketball team. So you got the Orioles, which really have been coming on late. But let's be honest, for the last 20 years have been horrible. And you got the Ravens, who for the last 15 years have been competitive. I mean, the Ravens have not, in our lifetime, sucked. Right? I mean, dating back to when we went to the Super Bowl, Dan, of the Giants, and Vinny Testaverde pulled one out with Ray Lewis.
Right.
Like
No, Trent Dilfer.
I mean, I'm sorry. Trent Dilfer.
When did Vinny Testaverde pull one out?
Vinny went out there. Didn't Vinny end up in Cleveland? No, that was...
he played everywhere, Bubba.
That was Bernie Kosar, who was an alcoholic, right, Lummy?
Yeah, but Vinny Testaverde and his colorblindness did play for the Ravens.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Browns left. He was a Ravens quarterback.
Back with the Justin Tucker stuff next on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Yeah. When Cleveland left Baltimore, he was the quarterback.
Oh, that makes sense, because I remember he played on Cleveland. But the move makes sense to knock out two teams with one step.
After the Bucs shipped him out.
Yeah, that Withers is good to go. That Withers is like...
Which will Weather? Our what?
A colorblind quarterback.
Is that a cold snap coming through?
It's like from like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's from 2 weeks?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He didn't have that good of stats in college.
So yeah?
I was looking at Vinny's stats in college. They weren't really that great for him being the number one pick overall.
You played for University of Miami?
Yeah.
Didn't he lose a championship too? The national championship doing a bunch of picks?
Won the Heisman.
He lost the national championship with a bunch of picks, right?
He won in '83. He might have been '86 though.
He won the national championship in '83?
Yeah.
I think his last...
No, but he was the backup then, so he didn't even play.
Yeah, I think when he played for the national championship as a senior, as his last year in college, I think he threw a bunch of picks and blew it. If I remember.
I mean, those Miami teams were ridiculous.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep, Dave rocks.
Morning, bitch.
Diuretics and elevation helps with swollen feet. Wearing compression socks.
I'm so perplexed by that bit from the Philadelphia station.
What do you mean?
I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was real. I think it was staged, but I just think it was kind of racy, edgy for the news.
Well, he had a microphone on his.
I think he went and found some chicks.
And was like,
just grab three chicks that were still up.
left out there.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing: you're in Philadelphia or you're in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. You're up at Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing's going on. So I can understand you got to stage, something. But I just,
There's no one on the street.
Yeah, there's something going
no
on
on the street. There's no one awake.
Right.
People go on sleep too.
Right. Oh man.
The Bourbon Street would just evaporate 2:30, 3 o'clock. I mean, it would go from dense to nothing by 3 o'clock.
I'm wondering where he found these women now.
They were probably streetwalkers.
You think?
No.
Well, I don't think that they're. I think that's so old school. I think that you probably just, I don't know, probably just Instagram a hooker or something.
I was going through East Tampa yesterday. I saw 2 hookers on the side of the road.
Yeah, I see hookers too, man. I'm just saying, not everybody has the internet, but I'm just saying it's a little old school to just, kind of do a walk and stare.
That's true.
One time when I was going to work, when I worked for 97X, a hooker at the bus stop flashed me when I went by. Now, yeah, I was like, oh shit!
Whoa!
Do I have any money on me?
Did she have nice floppy tits?
It was hard to see in the dark, but they're lovely in my head.
Was she a Caucasian or a African American?
She's black.
Oh. So she had really dark nipples?
I didn't get a composite sketch, Lummy.
I didn't know if you were stopped at the light.
I was just driving by.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck?
So I guess my next question was, Adeline, how big were her areolas?
How do you miss good?
The perfect size.
All well.
Did she have long, like, hangy nipples?
I miss it a bunch.
Yeah, they were a little elongated.
Oh, Seth's hooker that he got at the bus stop that flashed him? Really? Yeah.
Just a hooker flashed me when I was driving to work one
We're
morning.
just finding out how long her nipples were.
Thought that was a good advertising tactic.
I think Dr. Dan just farted for about 3 minutes. That was awesome.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Live from Ocala Speedway, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show with me, your host, Bubba the Love Sponge. Dr. Dan Diaco in full MAGA effect. Lummy with the man bun. Lummy, your little man bun looks kind of good. Now, Lummy, you've not cut your hair. Like, I would think, I know that you've been with, I don't know how long you've been with me on the air. How long have you, let me ask you a question. How long have you been sitting in that chair?
This chair,
And like, were you on the air with me full time from another chair, or
yes?
Did you go right? Okay, where were you?
I was at the kiddie table first,
right?
Off camera,
which we've made now into a riser with couches.
And then I popped over to mic 4, and then to mic 2.
All right, hold on. I got my little Zoom gimmick here. I got to remind me later. Just wants to do an update. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now, I got a lot of people that are audibly listening to the show, not visually, and they're saying that, really, I know, Bubba, you feel uncomfortable and you hate being in our RV in Ocala, Florida, but audibly you can't tell at all.
No, you can't.
And I got to think. I think with my double box in Bubba Army QR code step and repeat. I think the visual effect even looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
God, you know what, Kushner? We could each, from home, we could get rid of our 10,000 square foot facility, and we could all just have kind of like what I have behind me, just like literally in a little boxed in corner, and probably all be live from our homes.
Oh, I'd take a pay cut to do it from home. I mean, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd have to pay us as much. I mean, we wouldn't have to travel. There's no, paying for gas or any of that stuff. I'm just
saying, man. It looks pretty damn good. It really does. And so it looks like we do have the capabilities doing it.
But you need quiet, and so
what do you mean?
Doing it in the house, like
Dan, hold on, Dan. We could you would just set up a studio in the carriage house.
Oh, it would work great for me. But like Seth, with his kid getting up in the morning and his wife getting ready for work, there'd be bound, and same with Lummy, there'd be bound to be background noise as the house.
I mean,
was
little
waking
Walker
up.
coming in and jumping on Lummy would be good content. Like, Dad, like, Lummy, control your kid. Then we get into a whole big, Walker's is a madman talk, and Sammy wants to break her cards.
I think Dan needs his solace here. Is what I'm getting at.
I think so too. By the way, man, Joshua Markinson, Lummy, and it says Dan for president in his donation on PayPal. Thank you, Dan. And then, of course, the steel slinging madman from Valparaiso, Indiana, Johnny Costica, $100 bill, Lummy. So we're back. Yes, we're back. Thank you very much. This is the Justin Tucker story. Now, as you know, we were talking about a little bit ago where Deshaun Watson, formerly from the Houston Texans, and then traded to the Cleveland Browns, and it looks like that's where he's going to stay because the contract is just so. I don't think any team will ever take that contract on. I think Cleveland really crapped the bed with this one. But didn't they sign the Deshaun Watson guy while he had like the 21 pending sexual allegation suits against him? What didn't that was ongoing when they? I mean, they knew of all that before they gave him this big contract, didn't they?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still signed him. What's that?
I said and that's why one of the reasons Houston traded him.
Right. And what was his deal? Of which I think
$230 million.
Jesus.
44.9 million signing bonus.
And I think the rest of it was all guaranteed, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah. Now what does Cleveland do? Isn't he out for next year with a blown Achilles?
Yes.
Yeah. He's not recovering like Aaron
re-injure
Rodgers.
it while he was supposed to be recovering.
Yeah.
I think he was in Fiji or something.
Yeah, he was with his fiance or girlfriend partying.
And re-injured the Achilles.
Walking in the sand.
I mean, is that going to go down as one of the worst? I mean, is that going to go down as one of the worst trades in NFL history?
It's like Ricky Martin.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Williams.
Didn't Mike Ditka give his entire draft
and career?
I mean, Mike Ditka gave. I remember. I think it might have been was it the Miami Dolphins who had the rights to him, or no, the Dolphins?
He was at New Orleans, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the Saints, and then he went to go play with the Dolphins later on in his career.
I know, but who did Ditka give? Didn't Ditka have to give maybe the team with the number one overall
I think it was the
pick?
Commanders or Redskins.
Yeah, I thought it was the
whatever you wanna
Washington
call
too.
it,
Yeah.
Right, Washington, and didn't he give them all 10? I think back then it was 10 rounds. Didn't he give?
No, it was only 7 rounds back then. You're thinking of the Herschel Walker trade.
Oh yeah, but the Ricky Williams trade, Mike Ditka, who was at that time went from Chicago, sat out for years, and then came back to coach New Orleans. And he wanted Ricky Williams so bad that he gave away his entire 1 through 7 picks to the Commanders to have the rights to Ricky Williams. And I don't think Ricky Williams ever really panned out in New Orleans because he was always so high, right?
Yeah.
And he was always in trouble for the pot.
Yeah, he was always in trouble for the pot. And then he went on. Actually, the best part of his career is when he was with Miami, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, back to the Justin Tucker kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. And again, I think 5 or 6 massage.
I think it's 8
Are
now.
they all? Is it 8?
There were 6 originally, and then 2 came forward after the story came out.
Right. So 8 women. I'm assuming. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's an equal opportunity, take my wiener around the farm guy. But I'm assuming all of them are females.
Yeah, women in their 20s, I think, when it happened.
Have all come out and said that we work at this various massage places in Baltimore, and Justin Tucker. Now, it looks like he's taken it to a whole nother level because I don't know, and I'm going to use medical terms here, but I don't know that the Deshaun Watson allegations, which were 21 or 23 or 24 of them, all which he settled civilly, I don't know that there was ever ejaculation.
Oh,
I never knew, but in the complaints and in the various, urban legend stories of these women coming forward, we obviously didn't see any court docs because they settled, and nobody cares about settled stories. But trust me, I know. But I don't remember all the little scuttlebutt about the Deshaun Watson stuff being anything to do with ejaculation. He just would force girls' hands on his wiener and would rub his wiener on girls and just various things. I mean, I don't remember any ejaculation parameters, and it seems as though Justin Tucker that's one of his things, is he ejaculates.
Well, he apparently the masseuse left the room when it was done, comes back and finds the wet spot, and he's gone.
And he's gone.
Yeah, so he left it there for them.
Wow. Can't you be at least a courteous ejaculator?
Well, I binged Deshaun Watson if he ejaculated, and he looks like he did ejaculate during his massages.
I was gonna Google that, and then I thought,
I love that
think
word.
We're good, man.
I really love that word. And Dan, medically, that's not just what your penis can do. I think that anything that comes exploding out of an object is an ejaculation. Is it?
No,
I don't know that.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I'm not really sure you can use that, like when you turn on the hose and ejaculate.
Right. I mean, you could say, man, look at that.
My
hose.
windshield wiper washer is ejaculating.
Hey, my windshield wipers. Let me hit. It's ejaculating on my windshield now, and I'm getting the cleaner. Right?
No.
I don't think that's quite as
What
universal.
happens when What happens when I send a rocket up and then the fuse, the actual rocket, the engines fall. They ejaculate the spacecraft into space as they fall. They push it. I think pushing forward. I'm trying to say is like pushing something forward. Is that an ejaculant or is ejaculation
That's an
just
accelerant.
asexual?
Ejaculate means comes out of.
What about if a pilot ejaculates from his airplane?
Not if this ejects.
That's ejects.
Yeah, but couldn't you?
But you
use
could say
that?
he ejaculated, sort of.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I think they're related. He ejaculated from the plane.
Dan, don't bend on this. You know that. You know nobody uses that at all.
Hold on. Nobody may hold on. Nobody may use it, but can you use it? Like what I'm saying is nobody really uses it, but is
it eruption from a volcano and ejaculation?
Might be. You could say that, or if a volcano just ejaculated a bunch of lava.
Look at that geyser ejaculating all the hot gas.
Right. Maybe we're onto something here that the actual word ejaculate is not necessarily a sexual thing. It's a thing that. It's a word that's meaning like to explode from an object.
I popped a pimple and it ejaculated on the mirror.
You could say that.
I got in the Webster's dictionary here.
Hold on, watch me be right on this one, and I'm going to look really, really smart, or I'm just going to look really stupid.
One of its.
But remember, I had a head injury when I was in fourth grade.
Exactly, Bubba. It explains everything.
Part of a verb, it says to eject a fluid, and then one says.
It's a verb.
It's said to have ejaculated upon discovering a method for determining the purity of gold. So,
hold on, Dan. So do that again one more time. Let me read the gold ejaculation part.
The Greek mathematician is said to have ejaculated upon discovering a method for determining the purity of gold.
Well, that could have been him. He actually did.
He was in a Roman bath. He was in a bath with a bunch of
could have been
olive
so
oil.
happy.
Yeah,
he could have been so happy that when what he found was gold, that he actually did ejaculate from his penis.
Well, it says also that you could ejaculate or throw out like a dart.
There you go.
Ejaculated dart?
Yeah.
All right, use it in a sentence then, Lummy. Use it in a sentence.
Hold on. I'll use it in a sentence. The guy had a dart in his hand and then ejaculated it towards the dartboard. There you go.
There you go.
Everybody automatically wants to think that you're being a dirty birdie when you talk about ejaculation.
Yeah.
When in actuality, it looks like that Webster Dictionary has even backed me up that to ejaculate doesn't necessarily mean it has to be from a penis.
I'm just sure the glory holes in Texas ejaculate oil.
That's right.
Right?
Great point.
Yes, the oil wells in Texas ejaculate oil.
And the good ones are called glory holes.
Hold on. Back up because this oil hole is fixing to ejaculate.
Yep.
And
She's
all of a sudden,
going to
here comes
ejaculate.
it's gonna. Watch out. She ain't gonna blow. She's gonna ejaculate.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go on record, let me by saying that, when you talk about ejaculation, you don't have to necessarily talk about it's a sexual penis, thing that, to explode or blow out of an object can also be an ejaculation.
You've ejaculated stones, kidney stones.
Yes, you're right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fun fact. So anyway, this has been floating around. This has been floating around since 2021. So for 4 years, Jay Wick at _ Wick6 on Twitter or /X says, fun fact, Justin Tucker ejaculates prematurely and is banned from multiple salons in Baltimore. And then Adam at Finker Stinker. Let me, where are you getting all your credible news? The Finker Stinker?
Oh, yeah, Finker Stinker.
Yeah,
doing some good
stuff. Let me stop with the New York Post news source and give me the Finker Stinker full steam ahead,
yes, sir,
please.
Will do.
Justin Tucker must not have received his happy ending that he forced the masseuse to give him this week, probably because he's banned from most every spa in Baltimore. So that, and I think now is there two more? Yeah, I think there's one more right here, and it says this comes from Young MC at MC's Burner. I appreciate a person that's already denoting his account as a burner account. I appreciate that. Justin Tucker is canceled, but it's not my place. Again, this is in 2021, November, but it's not my place to provide the reason. Let's just say he's been told by many massage places never to come back. So, like, don't you know that as a professional athlete, that if you're going to have this type of behavior, you know, in a town, and you're an NFL football player, that there's a lot of eyes on you. And that you just can't be rolling around from masseuse. You know, what you got to do is, I'm thinking, is you got to find that one shady chick that doesn't have a problem with it and just stick with her. But maybe it's harder to find that, you know, chick that's going to give you a really legitimate massage and a happy ending.
I think it's
right?
a fetish. I think it's a fetish. I think it's part of seeing other women. Or I'm guessing if you force a woman to give you a happy ending, you're probably not going to see her again. So you're probably going to want to go see somebody else. So that might be why you just don't stick with somebody consistently.
Yeah, but like, I mean, wouldn't you think that as just a normal human being that can think logically, that if you're really, really making a chick or being that pushy and aggressive, that's going to eventually be a problem? I mean, because you can't force it. I mean, it's like almost like rape or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's molestation and it's gross. But is he little, or is he like, well?
I don't know. They didn't talk about his penis size. I got to think a guy.
You mean it's like intimidating, Dan? Is that what you're saying? Like, is he a big, intimidating presence, or are you asking if he's well hung?
Tinky winky. No, he got a little tinky winky. Maybe he can't.
No,
get
I got to think.
girls
I think that's completely opposite. A guy that wants to take his wiener around all the massage therapists in town,
showing it
probably is pretty well hung. I'm thinking. Because
that guy.
You didn't hear any of the women say that he was a tinky winky.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, there's been all kinds of different common denominators as to what Justin Tucker's, gig, so to speak, is with regards to apt endings, but none of them says because if you're tinky winky, that would come out. By the way, he's got a baby carrot for a penis, so there's nothing to see. I mean, the guy's buried.
He's got a Daryl Jeter.
If you can bury him some more and throw in by the way, he's got a small penis, they would have. So obviously he's got a big old hog on him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it would be a story. Justin, beware, all massage therapists of Baltimore. Justin Tucker is going to be asking your female massage therapist at your masseuse place to take his wiener around the farm. He likes happy endings. And by the way, he's a tinky winky. So don't worry, it's not that much work. Meanwhile, they would certainly be putting that in there if that was the reason.
Don't you think this is a fetish though, like a peeping Tom who goes to Target with cameras and when you go, there's so many naked women on the internet. Like, why are you going to risk your freedom to go catch a woman undressing in a Target changing room? Like, is this the same thing where the guy, he could get maybe any woman he wanted, he could afford any woman he wanted? This was before he got married, but instead, he has to go through the process of getting a massage and then putting the lady's hand on his package, or leaving a wet spot or something like that. Is that something that he has to satiate?
I think that might be like a big build-up fantasy kind of gimmick, and it's the whole body of work, and maybe it's not even to the point where they have to do it, because it said on several reports that they had left the room and came back and found ejaculant on the table or whatever. So you're right, Seth. It's probably like a whole big build-up fantasy kind of deal. And the payoff probably is to see if they will do it. And if they won't do it, then when they tell you to, they're done, the session's done, you leave them a little present. Which I don't understand. I don't understand how you could ever leave a woman. Yeah. Aren't you, That's like shooting somebody and leaving the bullet, the casings, and your fingerprints right there for the cops to, here's my information. Your ejaculant is the same. I mean, they can identify you by your ejaculant.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, they can. So maybe it's good the other way. Maybe he's massively hung and he just has, like Seth says, a fetish where he just wants as many people as possible to know about it and see it and touch it.
Well, maybe he's massively hung and he's massively horny, and any back or any type of massage pressure instantaneously gives him, listen, people get erect.
Has that ever happened to you, Bubba, during a massage? Have you ever gotten a little, does it move a little bit when you get a massage? Has it ever happened?
Yeah, I think so. But I didn't like instantly flip over and say, I was like kind of like, not hoping that they would, I was hoping when I did the flip, I was right back down to Tinky Winky so that they didn't see my big old, well, nothing I got's big and old, but I'm just saying, and that's embarrassing. If they flip you, and even if they've draped you and you got a tent, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah,
I've had to think of like really, really gross stuff to make mine go back down so that when you did get flipped, you don't got the big, again, mine's big, but you could at least mine will raise the drape up an inch or two, noticeable. Archie, so the future, I guess they're calling Peyton Manning's son Marshall. Now, is he 14? Do you think he says, is he 14?
I saw 12, but 14 works too.
I thought he was 12 or 13.
Oh, no, I think it's, hold on. We need a okay. Oh, yeah, I don't know how old Marshall Manning is, but he's the son of Peyton Manning. And obviously, for the NFL Pro Bowl that they just had last weekend, which was like a flag football game and a skills competition. And I think the score was literally like 83-64 or something like that.
Yeah, stupid.
Wasn't it something just stupid?
Yes.
And they've now regulated the NFL Pro Bowl to not even being a game of football. It's a game of flag football. And it's just and listen, I think they need to even eliminate. I mean, if they're afraid of guys getting hurt,
then don't do it.
You could just get hurt. You can twist an ankle, tear him. You can tear a knee just by doing this, can't you?
You can, yeah.
Eventually, I see probably all. All-star games, like in the NBA All-Star game. That's a game. The Major League Baseball All-Star game. That's a game, a real game. But they continually dummy down these games, so that there's, remember back in the day, wasn't it the All-Star game that Lummy, that Pete Rose actually did a home plate collision?
Yeah.
With a guy, and it was all it was. Now, it wasn't Game 7 of the World Series or a really pivotal game that the Reds needed to win to make the playoffs. It was just the All-Star game where, even at that point, I think now the All-Star game in baseball, the winner gets home field advantage for the World Series. Do
Which
they
is
still
huge.
do that?
Yes.
I think they stopped doing that, though, didn't they?
I think they stopped it because at that point, because it made, the game mean something. And they don't want the game to mean anything so nobody gets hurt. But, it was one of the biggest knocks on Pete Rose is that he absolutely plowed through the catcher to the point of you could have hurt both of the guys.
Yeah, but it was a 12th
at an All-Star game.
Yeah, it was a 12th inning, and he was playing to win the game.
Yeah. So, anyway, Marshall Peyton supposedly is a 12 or 14-year-old son of Peyton Manning, and they're calling him the future. And, his dad and his uncle coach the AFC and the NFC Pro Bowl flag teams. So, obviously, he's down there with his dad. It's in Orlando. This was this past weekend. And I guess his dad said, hey, what's the kid's name again? Marshall. Hey, Marshall, which is the nickname is now the future. Come out here and throw some passes to some of these NFL stars. And this is footage of what they're calling the future. Peyton Manning's son, Marshall. Here we go.
Yep. Blur. Watch it.
This kid.
Whoa.
I mean, for 12 or 4, and he even looks like a Manning right there. Look at him. Looks like his uncle. I mean, is this spectacular? Is this good?
Yeah, it looks good to me. I don't watch a lot of 12-years play, but he threw it right to Jamar Chase.
And the Mannings were sons of Archie Manning, so certainly, there's some validity to having the right genes.
Well, isn't the older brother the only one who didn't make it?
Yeah, because he has illness.
It was because of what?
An illness.
Oh, he had some kind of I think something kind of wrong with him, right?
Yeah.
But Peyton, obviously, NFL Hall of Famer. Eli, Hall of Famer. Eli, a lot of people don't know, 2-time Super Bowl champion, right?
Yep.
And Arch Manning will be the number 1 pick in the draft in a couple years.
Yeah, at Texas. Now, is that guy from Texas finally going into the draft, and it'll be the Texas Longhorns will be his team next year?
Yes.
All right. And then this is the son of Peyton, who's 12 or 14, and he's already throwing teardroppers into the end zone.
Okay, the young goat, the young bull, the future. Ooh, okay, the future. Hey, bro, that was a heck of a ball you threw, man.
Who's the guy that's taping it?
I don't know. Got to be a football player.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, man.
Marshall Manning.
Marshall Manning, man, the future right here. Y'all seeing it at the 2025 NFL Pro Bowl games. The future is right here.
There's Peyton right there. Did you see him in the background?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy.
I mean, have you met him before?
I had beers with him in Gruden at a Hooters in Indianapolis during one of the combines, and
oh really?
I was with him for like an hour and a half. The guy's genuine and real and funny and a great guy.
I mean, both cities loved him. Indianapolis loved him. He's still, an all-time god of Indianapolis. And then, Denver loved him. I think he won a Super Bowl for Denver, did he not?
Yeah, he did. Genuinely a funny and a nice and a good guy.
When we return, Major League Baseball fired one of their premier umpires. And here's what I don't understand, man. The one particular sanctioning body that absolutely will just lay you wide open on being a gambler of any way, shape, or form is Major League Baseball. I mean, other NBA, NFL, I don't know the NHL's ever had a problem with gambling, but, they are soft compared to Major League Baseball. I mean, look at the all-time great Pete Rose. And here's the thing about Pete. Pete never, ever. They've, part of the investigative data that they found back on Pete was that now Pete did lie about it because of course you lie about it when you're when they're investigating you. Of course you lie about it. No, I didn't do it. You lie until you can't lie. But even in the stiffest data that they found against Pete, even when Major League Baseball, which I might have he said there's a lifetime ban for Pete Rose, but they even made Bowie. I think it was Bowie. He just died. The former commissioner, Faye Vincent, and then there was some Bowie Kuhn or something. I don't know what the hell the name was, but they even in all of their data that they had against Pete Rose, Major League Baseball admitted that Pete never ever bet for his team to lose ever. Now he betted on games that he played on. He betted on games that he managed when he was a manager, but he never bet on his team to lose.
Never threw a game.
What's that?
He never threw a game.
So, if you, and I know that you're not supposed to bet, I got it. But if you bet for your team to win, that means you're not throwing, you're trying to win, which is what you're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. As a manager and as a player, I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to throw nothing. I'm trying to win. Maybe I have some inside information because, I am the coach or a player. I guess that's probably where they get you. But man, like boxers, when we would hang out with Winky Wright and stuff like that, Lummy, and go out to Vegas. I mean, Winky would go down and put 100,000 on as long as you're betting to win. They allow you in Vegas to bet on yourself as boxers.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make any sense. If you're betting on yourself to win, then I don't see where the problem is. But anyway, this high-profile umpire is now, I think he's maybe banned for life.
Nope. He can reapply in 2026.
He didn't even bet on baseball.
Supposedly he didn't bet on baseball.
There's 141 baseball bets placed by an account that him and his friend shared, And so, like, man, if you're a major league umpire, you have to like know that this could be potentially a problem. You cannot be like, you need to have your own account that doesn't bet on baseball. Now, even though he's saying, listen, I didn't make any of the 141 bets on baseball. That was my friend. Come on, dude. Like, then get your own account and bet on golf and basketball and football and all the other things that you degenerate gamblers want to bet on. But don't have a shared account with a well-known, gambler of Las Vegas, and there's 141 baseball bets, and your excuse be, that's a shared account, and I never did. Come on,
and
man.
then delete a lot of the text messages back and forth.
How much
We'll
does that
get
count? Was it a lucrative account? I mean, did they make money?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that.
I believe I saw that there was over $700,000 in bets made, but I don't think it says how much you won or lost.
Right. We'll get into that. Hulk Hogan was on Pat McAfee yesterday, and we're going to get into Trump. He's trying to work with Canada and Mexico. Mexico on we need you guys to help us secure the border, and on Canada, we need you to help us secure your border, and I'll start lifting these tariffs. Supposedly that's in action and in play as well. We'll get to both of those next on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
That's right.
What's that?
Pete Rose.
Oh,
Amazing baseball player.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best.
The hit king, R.I.P. I should have walked away. Should have walked away. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I feel like you never make it in when we're off the air.
I always seem to walk in when it's on.
No, it's good to. No, I mean, it's not like not like you throw the show off or anything. It's just.
Other than my cologne disrupting the show, I'm usually okay.
It's just Well, I guess the percentages are better for you to come in while it's.
Yeah, he doesn't usually take a break right at 8:30.
Yeah,
He's pretty consistent that he doesn't. What sport's your daughter playing this year?
Basketball.
How's she doing? She like it?
Yeah, it's her. They just had their second game, and I've kind of been battling with the. I go to all the practices, all the games. I've been kind of battling with offering my help to the coaches because, like, there's like 1-2 coaches that they have. One of the coaches was out. Like other team has 4 coaches, and. I just feel like some of the kids, they don't know where to go. They don't know.
That's why Danny ended up doing it.
Yeah.
It's because, you want them to actually learn something, and you see a couple people floundering around, and you're like, this is just not okay. I want to help just because.
I want at least my daughter to get, something out of it. And I'm not saying I'm some sort of guru. I'm just saying, like, I can.
Well, when they're 4 and 5, it's different than, like, right now my daughter's in OTVA volleyball. She just made a real league, and it's like, they don't let the parents in because they don't want any fucking parents bullshit. They're hard coaching.
Yeah.
But at that point, I had Coach Jack, and it's like, man, it's horrible. Sometimes you see they're either not paying attention to somebody, or so. I would encourage you to, because I know you don't like to interject yourself.
Yeah, I don't want them to get offended. I just want to be another body, and to help out a kid or two or something like that.
Right.
So I don't have some sort of like Phil Jackson.
Yeah, well, of course not. But this guy he never checked who was fast, who could catch a ball, who could run the ball. He was starting with these plays, 35 plays when my kid was 8.
And they don't know. And
he's like, okay, we're gonna play zone. He's like, a zone? He didn't know what a fucking zone was.
Right.
It's man-on-man flag football. It should be so. He's talking about his daughter in basketball, and I said, that's why you got involved. You couldn't stand watching the coaches flounder.
Well, it happens a lot. I mean, the reason I got involved was they had 2 high school kids coaching, and they flaked out after the second week.
Oh, well, that's it.
They just abandoned the team.
He said most of the teams have like 4 coaches. They have 2, and the 2 are not quite doing what he'd like them to be.
Well, like one was out on Saturday, so they had one coach, you know?
When they have one, I said, listen, if you're gone, let me help. I'll be your second assistant.
Okay.
Just all for your help. They always say yes. They're not going to say, no, fuck off. That never happens. They always say yes. Even if I got 3 guys inside, another guy wants to come out, I'm like, sure, come on in.
Okay.
It'll make it better for you
it makes it better for everybody.
I'm gonna do it this Wednesday. I mean, I always go up to the coaches and thank them after the game, and
Yeah, I mean, if you're the nice guy, and then you say, let me help a little bit. Let me see if I
My
can't help a
daughter
little bit
couldn't
too.
meander through sports at that age. Nothing really that she liked. You see that at like 10, she just picked up the volleyball and just fell in love with it. So, just having the experience be fun for her.
Yeah.
Like my son was the same thing. He did flag football. He hated it. He did soccer. He hated it. He did football for a second. And then he picked up the lacrosse stick.
Well, part of having fun is, getting maybe a little win here and there, too.
That helps, too. Absolutely helps.
We were 0 for 0.
Yeah,
and then we played the loser bowl, and I told my wife, we're not going. And she's like, we got to teach him. So I told him, I said, son, we made the loser bowl. So we're going to go finish the season out. But it was horrible.
That's brutal.
But the best thing about me coaching was all the kids were saying thank you, and then getting the car quiet. I'm like, hey, motherfucker. All these other assholes aren't related to me. Say thank you. Where's my fucking thank you? And you know what? That fucker says thank you to me after everything I do with him now. I corrected a mistake that he was making in life.
Well, it's good too that the parents will come up and thank you.
Yeah, Danny says thank you to me every time I do
Little
anything.
Danny is
He's very
becoming a
polite.
heck of a young man.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Live from Ocala Speedway, where I'm remote. The boys are back at the studio. I think I'll be back at the studio tomorrow morning. Trying my best to get out of here at a decent time tonight, and that I can be back in the studio. We'll all be together tomorrow for the Wednesday gimmick. Talking about the Major League Baseball umpire, was it Paul Hoberg?
Hoberg.
I'm sorry, Pat Hoberg. Major League Baseball found no evidence of wrongdoings in the 5 games. There was 141 baseball bets placed by Hoberg's close friend called Individual A in the Major League Baseball report, a professional player who placed 19 of the bets from Hoberg's house. See, like, I don't understand how they, like, I don't understand. This guy must have one hell of a great attorney or something like that. Because let me, they're only suspended him for 1 year.
Yeah.
He can reapply to be a badass umpire in 2026. There were 8 bets placed during the 21. Listen to this. There were 8 bets placed during the 2021 season on 5 games that Hoberg either umpired or was a replay official. How in the hell, even if your friend placed the bets, but it might have been from your home on an account that you share, and of which 8 of those games you were involved in some way, shape, or form.
Well, it says that.
How does that not get you a Pete Rose lifetime ban? I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Well,
Seth.
it says MLB found no evidence of any wrongdoing in those games.
Meaning
like he wasn't banging a trash can. Like they didn't find anything that led them to believe that he was influencing any part of the game.
Right. He wasn't throwing games.
Right.
He was.
Yeah, well,
neither was Pete Rose. He wasn't doing anything to manipulate it.
It's a different era, Bubba.
Neither was Pete Rose.
Right, but your
Pete
logic
Rose was
is
putting $5,000 down for me to win. Kick the Phillies' ass. What's that, Jay?
I was saying your logic though could apply here too. If the guy's never bet against himself ever, is he allowed to just gamble? Is he not allowed to gamble? I mean, here's the problem: is they got $700,000 worth of bets in this account, and he's claiming I didn't know anything about it.
And professional athletes should not be able to gamble in any way in any part of their sport. Period. They know too much about it. They know the other players.
You don't like
They're friends with
the
other players.
boxers too? You think? No,
They
it's
should not
fair?
be able.
People should not be able to bet on the sport that they're participating in, either as a ref, as a player, as a coach, as a doctor, as a trainer. You have too much inside knowledge. I knew what was going on every team when we were playing them. It's not fair. It's an unfair advantage.
I agree with refs. I think players are a distinction. I think
Wrong.
you should be able
They're
to bet
friends.
on yourself.
They're friends. They shouldn't be able to bet on themselves.
I don't think you should ever be able to bet against yourself.
But we're so hypocritical as a society because in some instances it's okay, like boxing,
right?
And in some instances it's not okay, like Pete Rose. And the fact that we've established that Pete Rose never bet on his team to lose, same as this guy. So they have 8 games that he was involved in that was placed from an account that he shared, none of which they found anything improprietary, anything that he had done wrong. But Pete Rose got banned for life. This guy gets a 1-year suspension. I don't know. I think it's something pretty hypocritical to me.
I agree, but I think there is a distinction between umpire and referee and player. And this is an ump. It's a little different. This is a guy who's calling the shots. And so, yeah, maybe they didn't hear him smashing the lid of a trash can or doing anything that he overtly threw it. But, I mean, that's just the appearances of impropriety is betting on your own game that you're officiating.
Right.
So and that basketball referee got nailed.
Tim Donaghy.
Right.
He went to prison.
Right. And this guy should go to prison because
they were showing that Tim Donaghy would talk to the mob an hour before the game, and they would tell him how it needs to go, and then he would, when they investigated it, he would make obvious fouls and traveling and 3-lane violations based on where he needed it, where the mob needed the game to go. So they had him dead to rights.
Yeah, he was throwing.
They had him. Yeah, he was like, Guido Marciano would call him up an hour before the game and say, "Hey, man, we need the Knicks to win by 4 tonight. The Knicks are down 6 with 3 minutes to go. Next thing you know, the opposing team's getting fouls and traveling calls and the whole 9 yards, so the Knicks can start, throwing the game." I don't know pop culture, but it said the headlines on this, and I don't know who sent it to me, is how can they disrespect or treat Babyface, the singer, like this? And I watched it, and I didn't understand what they were saying.
They completely start to phase him out and stop listening to him because they want to get, I believe her name's Chappelle Rowan or something, or maybe the other way around. They want to get this big pop star over here.
Yeah, they completely interrupted him while he was talking in the middle of doing an interview.
And he
because some other more popular person was walking by him and they wanted to grab him?
In their opinion, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody knows who Chappelle Rowan is. She's up and coming. She's popular with the kids, but it's still, I mean, if you're a professional in this setting, this is absolutely ridiculous. They acted like 12-year-olds.
Here we go. Let me see here. Oh, where's my phone?
Women in R&B and the way they were really at the forefront. Can you talk about just this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip-hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
What? So hold on. Babyface, who is an icon by some rapping soul R&B standards.
Legendary.
Legendary producer, writer, artist.
Yeah. How many platinum records he's either produced or participated in as an artist, and even he so graciously kind of bows out, not allowed to answer the question they threw his way, which was pro-female, getting into the industry more so than ever, which is an interesting question for him to answer. And then I guess this weirdo bitch that looks like they spray painted her white with a green hue, and it looks like some stupid ass dress, comes walking up, and I guess Rhett says the younger generation know who this bitch is. But I mean, wow. And even Babyface, I guess, kind of takes a step back in a gentlemanly type fashion and says, "Oh yeah, here you go. Here, let me watch."
She looks like the Wicked Witch of the East.
Hello.
Oh man.
Look at her fingernails and stuff, and she's painted green. I mean, is that Jesus?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it's no different than Cyndi Lauper when we were kids.
I mean,
that's probably the new version of Cyndi Lauper. You're right. What's that, Seth?
I mean, when you're on the red carpet, you got to grab who you want to grab, but don't grab Babyface. I mean, those girls might have been 25. I mean, don't grab Babyface and try to make up some question about women being in R&B like this is some sort of new thing, like Brandy and Mary J. Blige never existed, and you're making up some question. Then in the middle of the question, they need a producer. They need a handler because these girls are the ones that clearly look like they were wrangling guests.
Well, what's funny is I think they had someone there with them because when that girl does the weird lean thing where she's looking over, you see somebody pat her on the back.
Oh, okay.
And that may have been someone to pat her and say, hey, quit being weird. You're on camera. I don't know what that was, but just a lack of professionalism all around. If you're out there to do the job, do the job, even if you don't know the person.
If they had a handler, the handler could have gone around to the whatever the artist, the wild witch looking bitch.
I sent you her YouTube if you want to check out her great videos.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to open up I don't know how to open up our IM. I don't know how to do that.
Seth is so right, though. The question was so stupid. Like, we never had female in music when we were kids, or we never had a fusion between rock and roll and rap. It was the dumbest question I've ever heard.
You can see them bumbling through it because they don't. I mean, someone's telling them in their ear, ask this question because you don't know who's coming on the red carpet.
I mean, Linkin Park. Anyone ever heard of
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is, if they had a good producer or handler, that person could have gone to the Wild Witch of the West and said, "Hey, can you just give this Babyface? Can you give him like 60 seconds, and then we'll step you up here after that." Instead, they're just winging it like they never won. And they have zero talent and zero, respect for a legend. And they're like, oh, squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Do you think if there are parallel universes, Bubba, or there, do you? I was thinking about this last night. Do you feel like aliens, or do you feel like there's a red carpet anywhere else, like in this galaxy? Because I feel like it's one of the dumbest inventions I think that we've come up with so far.
It's really? Certainly.
Yes, it's so unnecessary. I mean, you saw Kanye West and his wife's naked walking the red carpet.
Which I love.
There's some kid peeking around the corner that's taking a look at it. You're stopping.
I mean, here's the one thing. I only participated in a red carpet event where I walked the red carpet and stopped and talked and it stopped. I'm sure Seth, you've seen the behind the scenes of red carpet and how they have X's and you stop and it's different media sources. And that's when I co-hosted the Avians with Stormy Daniels and her and I walked the red carpet together.
It's
and
all promotion, isn't it, Bubba? Basically, it's all promoting whatever you're there for.
Right. And the different forms of the media have different, real estates of the carpet.
But it's like little kids asking for an autograph at a baseball game and just screaming when you see the guy's jersey, and so then you don't know who he is until you see the back of his jersey. You start screaming his number. It's like all these people are walking the red carpet. You don't know who they are, but you just scream for them to come over because you're some up and coming publication, and you need to get some content. And all of a sudden, you're just asking these generic questions to people who you don't even know who they are.
But it's all about everybody's looking for content and any type of content at this point. And it used to be content was a little more regulated and a little bit more, produced, if you will.
And now everybody just. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's not just anybody. They were there with the Associated Press.
Yeah. No, I know.
That's what that AP was for, Associated Press. It wasn't some
That's why they asked that stupid-ass question about women and music.
That's a major news, organization.
I could drag that IM window over for you if you want.
How do you do that?
I'll drag it over for you. 1 second.
All right, go ahead and drag it over. You sent me.
I sent you her YouTube page. It's really awesome.
Is this the one who walked up with the hat, the witch hat?
Yeah.
Wait till you see the hat when she received the award.
Bubba,
I'm talking about her page.
Oh, goodness.
Her YouTube page with all her music.
Is this it right here?
You can.
All right, let me give her that here.
Yeah, she's.
And this is Chappelle Rowan.
Yes.
Is it a woman that dresses like a drag clown?
Hold on, your kids, Jay, probably, or Dan's kids.
This man wouldn't dance.
Yeah, Sophia had a teacher like her that was doing the clown stuff.
What?
Remember she had the clown teacher? Remember we showed the feed?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. One of her teachers was a clown, Jay. Like a clown. They would do all these weird videos like this.
On like TikTok?
Chappelle Rowan.
She's still there?
Super graphic, ultra modern girl.
I think we should bring back face masks for her.
I mean, you got to get that chick on TV ASAP now that I'm seeing it.
I'm going to break real fast. Is this? I mean, this is a huge story, and arguably, is he dinged up and been hurt now? Then he's no longer the it factor. But Cooper Kupp from the Rams now they're actively seeking a trade for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't he one of the? I mean, he's 31. But isn't he still very, very, very good? I mean, he's like I don't know if he's a Mike Evans. He's not. Is he a Mike Evans?
He's not a Mike Evans, but he is a good receiver, and he does have value still. And I was hoping the Bucs were going to pick him up in the middle of the season when everybody got hurt.
I think it's telling that the Rams are helping him pack his bags in this scenario. I think the injuries have really kind of dampened him these last couple of seasons, and it's tough. He's a great receiver, and he can be productive. And I think he'll go to a team that needs a guy like him. I think Carolina or Jacksonville makes sense.
He's only played in the last 2 seasons 12 games each year.
Does he got a huge contract? I mean,
yes,
yeah.
So
he's only 31 years old.
Yeah,
31. Isn't that the same as Mike Evans?
That's what
already 31.
Yeah, but Jay, here's the deal: 31 as a receiver or a running, well, especially a running back, but 31 for a receiver, and they start, kind of showing you the pasture a little bit.
That's 8-10 years in the league. You're right.
It's a lot of hits.
Yeah. And running back at like 29, 30, they're like, man, he's 30 years old. He's taking a lot of hits. They start leaning you out to pasture then too. It's amazing, how quickly you time out in the NFL if you're in some of these specialty positions, i.e. running back, wide receiver. Now you can be a quarterback like Tom Brady, freak of nature, and play till you're 44, 45,
Hey, the team struck gold. The team struck gold with Cooper Kupp. They drafted him in the 3rd round, and he was a great receiver for a long time. And then they lucked out getting Puka Nacua in the 5th round, and he's their guy now. So it makes sense to go ahead and move on, and they're going to help Cooper go wherever he wants to go, and that the best place for him to win a championship and for his family. So I think that's first class that the Rams are doing that because look, Luka got traded, and no one said a damn thing. So
could he be a great number 2 or number 3 receiver?
Yes. Absolutely.
Where he's not taking a hit every play?
Yep.
Well, that's kind of how he was in his last year with the Rams. Puka kind of took number 1 spot this year.
And he's and Kupp's like the number 2 Willie.
Yeah, but he only played 12 games.
That's an important part, though. 3rd down and short. there's a really important part for that kind of a player in a team.
When we come back, we're going to get into the Trump potentially might be working with Mexico and Canada on the tariff gimmicks, and we'll get into the Cooper Kupp stuff as well. Back after these words on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Yeah, but it didn't look like it last week. Susan Collins came out last night and said, I now support her. She said she will not pardon or recommend a pardon for Edward Snowden. I will recommend her now. That's a huge deal. And then we have that fucking doctor, whatever his name is, that was fighting RFK about the vaccinations, Bob Cassidy. We don't know what he's doing yet. So it's ironic that the 2 Democrats are the ones the Republicans won't fucking get through, and the ones that the people voted for mostly. So
1 more hour and 6 minutes.
You wanna go? I'm gonna go. Let's try to hit the head.
Bye, Dr. Dan. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye, Dan.
See you, Sandy.
See you,
See you
man.
much.
See ya. Let's see.
Bubba's gonna start singing. Who keeps calling?
What?
Who keeps calling from that number?
I think it's that one guy. Probably need to see you check.
We want to block that one too?
Well, yeah, we might want to check the ID. He's calling again. Just double check on the ID. You probably didn't list it properly.
I'll go see if I can see it real quick.
Ah. I think the Bears like Keenan Allen walk and make a move for Cup.
Wait, what'd you say?
I think the Bears should let Keenan Allen go. He's a free agent and trade for Cooper Cup to be their possession.
Make him number 2.
He'd be 3. I mean, between Rome Odunze and DJ Moore.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I think that'd be a perfect place for him to thrive.
Throw him in the slot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was when he was healthy last year. I thought he was fine. He's been one of my
he was fine when he was healthy. He just, that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously going into it, you're going to get him for probably 12 games.
And that's why, as a third option,
yeah,
that's good enough for me.
Takes a little bit of wear and tear off of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I say, man, got baseball players don't need to play 162 games. Football players don't need to play 17 games every year to prove anything. If they miss a couple of games, you miss a couple of games. Cooper Kupp came into the league, I think, a little bit older, so.
Yeah, I think he was in his mid-20s.
Yeah, I think he was in at 25. So his window was always kind of small, but man, he maximized it.
I thought he was on his second cup. That's why I was asking. I was like, holy shit.
I don't want any Myles Garrett stuff.
For the Bears?
Yeah, they said it's going to take more than 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. I like it. Mommy, it says Department of Veterans Affairs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, Macho.
Yeah.
Well,
Today's Tuesday, though.
Good morning, everybody.
Maybe after Connie Kush.
What's up, Steve? Almost divorced.
Seth, are you doing Connie Kush today?
I can't do one by myself.
Back in time,
Hold
58
on.
seconds.
Well, so did he already say no?
He said, he didn't say anything. I'm assuming he's not doing one, so I moved pigmentation up to 11 today.
Okay.
Oh, was I telling you, Brad?
What's
Oh,
up,
sorry.
Super Lips?
Was that info for you?
No. I was asking him.
Okay. Can you send him an email?
Literally until 30 seconds ago. I know
Nick,
today was
the
Wednesday. So I was asking
Hillsborough
him
County
what
Motorcycle Brigade was so appreciative of.
Yeah, so,
Okay, can you send an email?
yeah, so no Clement Kush, then they're going to be here at
They
11
were so
for
nice.
pigmentation.
Thanks,
So
guys.
we want to put that on YouTube.
Okay,
And then,
is
that
that
should be
your
it.
email?
So-
Yeah, get access
All right,
to
cool.
it.
Thanks, man.
No, if you
Just
can
the
send an
pieces you say.
email.
How are you
that'd be
doing,
Perfect.
honey?
Yeah, it's my brother. Yep. So send an email if you can. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studio.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Live from Ocala Speedway. That's where I'm at least for today. And then probably a little bit next week as well. And then the boys are back in the studio next to the Tampa airport. That's where our studios are located. But obviously, we could all be from, I think this engineering greatness has shown that we could be anywhere, all of us together.
It's awesome.
The big Zoom meeting kind of deal.
You've been, you sounded great the entire time since we did that reset. What was it,
Thank
first
you.
break?
Yeah, appreciate it, fellas.
Sailing.
This is I don't think, do we need to get into the Cooper Cup deal, or did we cover it pretty good? The Rams are
covered it
seeking.
pretty good.
I think we can move on. We got so many great stories to talk about. Yeah, the Rams are now. Have they just thrown it out to the league? Hey, we're interested in unloading Cooper Cup.
Well, they let Cooper Kupp know, and then he announced it on social media. And I think that's how the news broke initially. And then Myles Garrett over in Cleveland requested a trade. He wants to win.
Cooper Kupp said, I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately, and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed that I was going to begin and end my career in Los Angeles, that he wrote on X. So, I mean, do they really work with you on where you want to go for your family? Or are they just, say, hey, we'll take what we can get for you, especially with your large cap number. And sorry, it's Cleveland. Or,
No, they're not going to do that to him. I mean, that's
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to, show him the respect, for everything that he gave to the organization, helped to win a Super Bowl, all that stuff. And now to make sure that, you don't just ship him to Cleveland or, Jacksonville or something like that, I think is, I think it's the organization is solid for doing that.
As much as I hate Liam Cohen, I don't think Jacksonville is going to be a death sentence this year, but we'll see if Trevor Lawrence, stinks it up again.
What are the, top 3 or 4 worst destinations for a guy in the league? I mean, obviously Cleveland's number 1. What's the other 2 or 3 that you're like,
Tennessee.
Would Green Bay be one of those?
Yeah.
Would Green Bay?
Yeah, but Tennessee would be a great place to live, I think. I think you take that into...
No,
What, no?
He checks all the boxes of a Tennessee Titan wide receiver 1. You remember when they signed Julio Jones when he was at this stage of his career?
Yeah.
He played a good couple of years there, I guess.
I guess you could say New England right now.
I'd way rather live in Tennessee than New England.
Murky water.
Yeah, and plus the Patriots are ass bags right now.
That's
right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they're on the way up, though. I mean, they got Vrabel, they got Drake May. I mean,
they'll never be down for that long.
Here is we're getting into the tariff stuff with Fox. Let me see. Is it not playing on your guys'?
We have the lowest. We are the biggest market in the world. They take advantage of us. We have the lowest tariffs, the lowest trade barriers of any. They flood our markets. What's the first thing that happens when we raise tariffs? They lower their prices.
Okay, so that was President Trump's senior trade and manufacturing advisor, Peter Navarro, on the president's tariff implementation. He joined us here live last hour. Trump has agreed to delay them on Mexico for a month, but Canada and China still face them starting at midnight. It's impacting global markets. Look at this. I mean, now the Dow is positive on the day. You can see how much it was down earlier before the pause was implemented and that conversation between Mexico and President Trump happened. Let's bring in Robert Wolf, former economic advisor to
So that was before they did the Canada
President
deal.
Obama.
That was before what now?
That was like around noon yesterday when he had already done the 30-day pause with Mexico. And then, like a domino, Canada fell right into place, and they did the same thing about 5 o'clock, where they said, we'll put 10,000 more troops on our border. We're going to name a fentanyl czar. We're going to designate Mexico as the Mexican cartels as a terrorist organization, and we're going to spend $1.3 billion with a B to enforce the northern border and to curb fentanyl.
That's the Trudeau Canada. Deal they struck with Trump to get the 25% tariff lifted off of them. It said, in addition, Canada will reinforce its borders with new helicopters, technology, personal and enhanced condition with American authorities. He added nearly 10,000 personnel will be working on border protection, and they're going to appoint a fentanyl czar.
Yep.
Dan, let me ask you a question. What's the origin of fentanyl? Obviously weed.
Oh, Dan's gone.
Dan. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know Dan left. I didn't know. But okay, then anybody then. What's is fentanyl manufactured by a pharmaceutical company and they sneak it in, or is it homemade? Obviously heroin is derived from the poppy plant, and cocaine from the cocoa leaf, and weed is naturally grown without really just taking the bud off the flower. But are they manufacturing fentanyl, or are they bathtub making it?
It's a highly potent synthetic opioid, and is 30 to 50 times more potent than heroin, and 100 times more potent than morphine.
So, are they making it?
Yeah,
China's making it.
Yeah, it was invented in 1959.
Right.
Here in America.
So, I mean, I'm sure that, when you go to the hospital, or a doctor or a medical I think they use fentanyl in different medical applications within the doctor's world.
Pain medication, yes, but not in the doses. The lethality of what they're putting across our border is what's different. And it's being put into cocaine and being put into ADHD medication, and so these 17, 18, 19-year-old kids will be in college and they think they need to take a pill so they can study better, and the pill's laced with fentanyl. Or the kids.
You know what, Jay? I just had a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name. You guys all would know him. Whose son just overdosed on exactly what you just said.
Did he die?
Thought he was yes.
Oh my God.
Thought he was buying a pain pill, and bought a pain pill or two, and they were both laced with fentanyl. What he thought were two Percocets or whatever the hell he thought, were dangerously, lethally laced with fentanyl.
Are they trying to kill people, or they're trying to get you higher so you come back and get more?
I don't know.
China is trying they're trying to make our society a society filled with drug-ridden and people who have ideologies like you see on TikTok. That's why they don't want them to have control over TikTok, because in China, they don't allow their children to consume TikTok like we do. And they don't allow the messaging that they send our children in China, because they know that it perverts the mind and it skews, and what you're doing is indoctrinating children. And so they send the fentanyl over, they send these messages over so that they can try to screw up our democracy, which how well have they done that in the last 10 years? Incredibly well.
So is it really, does it go really that, is it that scandalous and deep that TikTok is here to take our country down?
It's I do believe truly that China has their tentacles worldwide. Penny and I have been watching this forever in Costa Rica and Central America. We're now seeing it in the Panama Canal. And so the question is the fentanyl, the lethality of the fentanyl. It's killing 200,000 to 300,000 Americans every year, and it's coming directly from China. That's where it's manufactured. So the whole idea is, if you can tighten the borders down and you can reduce the amount of illegal fentanyl that comes into the United States, maybe we can stop having these people die. That's a good thing.
Listen, I've never known, cocaine, heroin, weed, all get into this country via Mexico.
Sure.
Now, for years, that's where the majority of it comes from. But specifically Trump and our U.S. government, I guess, they're really on this fentanyl kick. And so, I think it's a bigger issue than any of us really know, to the point where, that's what Trump's big hotspot is. Listen, I'm going to tariff you 25% until you help me, precisely, target fentanyl importation, or I should say, smuggling. And so is it such a big deal that the president of the United, that's his main target, is to, put 10,000 troops on the northern border or 10,000 troops on the Mexican border, as he spoke to the president, Claudio, is it Sheinbaum?
Yep.
Is that the president of Mexico?
It is.
So Mexico has a female president?
Yes, they do.
That's cool. So Mexico got a female leader before we did.
Yes, and
because she's articulate and qualified.
Right. That's kind of refreshing.
A sentence.
Just when we thought we might get Hillary, Mexico says, "Let us put a chick in here." I really do think that our country needs a female president.
But Bubba,
sometime soon.
Look at all the females that are in power positions in this administration. A guy that doesn't surround himself with intelligent women. 1/3 of his cabinet are females. His most important confidant is a female. He surrounds himself with the most brilliant. We never said, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a female attorney general? He just said, let's find the most qualified person, Pam Bondi. And he just did it that way. And so it's all merit-based. Anyone can make it to the top in a merit-based society. But what you said is really my biggest fear for my son going into college is what you just said. It's fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
It's my biggest fear.
As a parent, you got to say, Trey, listen, I experimented with some. I think you got to be like you got to.
Oh, it's time for honesty.
It's tried to be transparent and 100%. Be like, Jay, I went to college and I did some stuff I probably shouldn't have. Maybe smoke some weed or whatever the hell. You got to just kind of totally let your guard down a little bit. And you're saying, but in today's world, it's way different than when I went to college, meaning you, Jay.
Yep.
And you're like, listen, there's probably some stuff you can, drink a beer, whatever, smoke a bowl, whatever. But then there's some things, Trey, that you absolutely positively cannot even thinking about experience. Like you don't even want to try it.
I'm going to share.
It's literally, like, listen, Trey, literally, affluent people are losing their sons and daughters, not because they're crackheads, not because they're homeless and with needles stuck in their arm, but their kids are going to college from affluent families, good families, and they're losing their children over one pill, one not knowing what it is pill. Unless and I'm sure if Trey got sick, Dan would be calling him in prescription, and he'd go to CVS or Walgreens or Publix and get it. So other than that, which been prescribed to you, there's some things if you want to chug a few Miller Lights at a fraternity party, great. If you want to smoke a joint, great. Not great, but you as a dad, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to stick my head in the sand and that ain't going to happen. But I have no tolerance. Me and your mom have no tolerance for dabbling in, because as you get as when they leave the nest, Jay, there's a lot of freedoms that we had when we went to college and things that we did, and it's just not the same environment. Back when we were going to college, you'd be like, man, let's get some weed, or let's get some beers or something. It wasn't, hey, let's take pain pills that could potentially be laced with fentanyl. And, well, we're going to die.
No. And, I've had those discussions with them, and I've been very real and very open and honest with them, and I've shared mistakes that I've made. And I told them the difference was there was no such thing as fentanyl. And so kids these days, they all want to have something. Everyone wants to have ADHD. Everyone wants to have some kind of condition. They think they need Adderall. They think they need something to help them study one night. And so what I'm telling them is, you don't need anything. You got so much testosterone in your body. You got so much everything in your body, adrenaline. If you need to stay up late to study, you'll be able to stay up late to study. And so my big fear is that one day he's behind.
Get him on. Get like Doc.
He gets
get
one
like your
Adderall.
Uncle get a monster. Get 3 monsters.
That's what I mean. But that's what it is. It's literally Adderall. It's Xanax. It's Ambien. It's anything that's on the street that these kids may think they need because they're so young and they're in this fast food mentality society where it's like, I want instant gratification now. So if I can't study, there must be a pill that can make me study better. And if I can't
they go to their friend and they don't go and get a prescription. It's not. It's not prescribed by their doctor, and they didn't get it at a pharmacy. They got it from their friend, who got it from a friend, and it's been stepped on. And the next thing you know, you've lost your son or daughter.
Yep.
Because it's not the same environment that we lived in. And it's just not.
I'm going to share the story you just told me because that's my biggest fear. It literally is.
I'm going to text you guys. I'm going to text you guys who the person is, and you're going to be like, this really, really does hit like affluent people. Let me see, Seth.
And that's why it shouldn't matter that, it's so funny that we say it like that because it affects everyone.
And so I'm going to send, this is the guy that's my friend. And please, nobody, no hints, no hints or nothing, but he just lost his son 2 months ago to what his son thought was a Percocet or an Adderall or something like that. I just sent it to you, and I've spent many a day on the phone with my friend who was at almost suicidal for losing his son. And you guys all saw the name. And as you can attest, that this isn't just some guy that, is a truck driver, just some hardworking dude whose kid. This is a very borderline famous person who lost his son to an overdose of fentanyl via what he thought was an Adderall or a pain pill. And has everybody seen it?
Oh, my God.
Seth, did you get it?
Yeah. That's
I mean, so like that's not, some guy this is a borderline, this is an affluent individual. So Jay, as you're preparing your kids to go to college, your kids are a couple years older than Danny's, but I mean, that's a tough conversation that you and Kendall have to have.
And it's not like somebody who didn't care about his children. It was like some half-assed dad. This is a guy.
No.
This is a stand-up man, a stand-up individual, a good human being.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Please give him my love. Please.
I will. And he has just been really going through a tough time. And so, I mean, it could hit every one of us. God knows the world that Sammy and Walker are going to be exposed to. I mean, we don't even know. I mean, Sammy's 7, Walker's 2, going to be 3.
Yeah. Just be open with
Sammy
your kids.
going on 8. But my Lord, what's this world going to be like when, we've progressed in? So, whether it's Trump or the next person or the person before him or 3 persons thereafter, we have to control our border, at least with regards to that particular situation. Because, I mean, just when you think that this thing isn't that big of a deal, you have a very good friend of yours lose their 23, 24-year-old son to a fentanyl overdose. So the tariff that Trump imposed on Mexico and Canada was all supposedly about locking down the border with regards to fentanyl smuggling and probably people. And I think initially both Claudia and Jack Trudeau, rebutted or didn't want to play ball with Trump. And Trump, decided to impose 25% across the border tariffs from both. And I mean, I don't know if them quickly caving shows you that he's right, or if them quickly caving shows them how unhinged he is. And he, is totally unhinged. You know what I'm saying?
Is he unhinged or is he engaged? We had a disengaged president who was a walking
I think he's
wounded.
Both. I think he's both. I think he's unhinged, and I don't know. I think he has our best interest, but boy, look. Are you seeing this picture that I'm showing? I mean, I don't know if this
diplomatic
he's mean mugging.
Here we go. This is a story here. Hold on.
President Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum have agreed to a 1-month pause on the 25% tariff that was set to hit Mexico. The pause comes in exchange for key border security concessions, including deploying 10,000 National Guard personnel from Mexico to help combat fentanyl trafficking and illegal immigration. During a recent call, President Trump described the discussion as friendly and said high-level negotiations will soon be led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, along with top Mexican representatives. Trump expressed his eagerness to work with Mexico toward a broader deal on both security and trade. This decision reverses an earlier move by Trump, who had ordered the tariff after accusing Mexico of failing to address the twin crises of fentanyl trafficking and illegal immigration. Mexico...
Now, isn't fentanyl... Well, here it's going to get into, I guess, maybe the smuggling of fentanyl.
United States' largest trading partner for exports, handled roughly 700.
Are those avocados?
Yes, sir.
Those things going to be made into your avocado toast by the time they get to Tampa?
Yes, absolutely.
Mexico.
Don't we grow a lot of our own avocados in California?
Well,
Or is the demand for avocados so much that we can't keep up with just California growing? We got to bring it in from Mexico.
You got to bring it in.
So isn't avocados the base of what guacamole is made out of?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I'm not a fan.
Me either.
$75 billion in trade last year. The tariff pause is part of a broader context involving measures against other key partners like Canada and China. Some estimates suggest that if all such tariffs were enforced, they could potentially reduce U.S. GDP by 0.4 percentage points and cost hundreds of thousands of jobs. President Trump, known for his strong stance on tariffs, recently took to social media to declare what he called the golden age of America, insisting that while there may be some short-term pain, his policies will ultimately make America great again. For now, the temporary pause allows both countries to focus on improving border security while they negotiate a more comprehensive...
Now, hold on. If you look at this border, do you have to get through both of them?
Yes.
Because that's pretty badass.
Yep. And then see that road next to it so they can monitor it, both sides.
Yeah. Looks like, that's much better than the one we used to see where there'd be like a trampled down fence. And people just jump gaps in it. Yeah.
Does Canada or Mexico get anything out of the deal, or are they just happy that they don't have the tariffs, so the tariffs were put on pause?
And they're happy they don't get the tariffs were put on pause. They're getting a ton of stuff from us.
Tons.
What do you mean?
Oh, they get. I mean,
we're $200 billion upside down in subsidies to Canada annually.
And when they
what
say
do you mean?
When they say job loss,
upside down in trade deficits, meaning that they tax our products to the tune of $200 billion more than we don't tax theirs. And so he's talking about parity and let's be equal. If we're going to be neighbors and be partners, then we need to equal things out. So you can't let our bankers bank in Canada. You better. You're not going to let us sell our dairy there. You better. Because there's other things he wants to do as well than just lock the border down. That was the first thing. So, he has a widespread agenda for the United States and America first. And it's with our trade partners. We're not going to let you put cars together in Canada and ship them over here with no tariffs for China. We're not going to allow you to do it. So if you want to have cars manufactured here, Porsche, BMW, Audi, put your plants in the U.S. That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm asking Jay. When they say loss of jobs, do they mean U.S. jobs or just jobs from the other countries? Because they don't say loss of U.S. jobs.
That's one of those things I noticed too. And I don't think it's loss of U.S. jobs for tariffs being imposed over there.
When
I'm
we
a guy
return,
I was going to say, I
you're
own
a guy.
a tequila company. I have a part of a tequila company, and these tariffs would dramatically affect the prices of Salento organic tequila, which comes straight out of Jalisco. And I'm still okay with it. I'm 100% okay with this because everything will be better for every market, whatever area you're trying to sell, if we have a stronger border and we have less fentanyl and we have less of the Mexican drug cartels. Mexico will be a safer place to do business. And so,
did you see the cartels, man, said, hey, Trump, we're going to send drones over and start exploding at the border and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the cartel, man, that's scary.
See how well that goes, Soleimani.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, they took Soleimani out with one little bullet. One little missile. They know where all these people are. That's the thing Trump will say.
When we return, Trump, I do like this about for Seth. I mean, all these universities that were doing anti-Semitic stuff during the Palestinian, Israel conflict and Hamas and all that. And all these universities starting at the very top, probably Columbia, but Northwestern and Oregon State and all these various, very, 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 college has always been liberal, but college has always been liberal to the fact where you're more open-minded to new things, and great ideas come from college, and no thought is stupid. And sometimes that you have to be more liberal thinking. That's what universities, when they were, universities were pigeonholed or described as being liberal. It was more so because they had, an open mind on some things that most conservative people would think could never get done, whether it be scientifically or, whatever. But now these universities have become, I don't know, like these hate-mongering people that really don't know even what they're protesting. Like almost just like, again, we saw all these anti-Semitic demonstrations, 6-7 months ago, and these students really don't even really know what they're protesting. Macho Man, are you over there running the show too now, man, sound effects wise?
You don't like the clock?
I know. Does that mean that we're running late? Does that mean that
the students are cuckoo?
The cuckoo is a cuckoo clock.
Here's the thing. I don't like the fact that most university presidents did not step in and do anything at all. You could never target any other ethnicity or religion the way that a lot of these people hatefully targeted anti-Semitic type stances. You couldn't do it to African Americans. You couldn't do it to almost anybody else, women. And they were allowed to bona fidely have hate speech to Jews.
Robert Kraft is running an anti-Semitic commercial during the Super Bowl that's starring Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg.
Nice.
You're kidding me?
No, hell no. Wouldn't joke about something like that.
Now hold on though. But what's Robert Kraft slinging?
He's slinging
Gillette.
No, he doesn't.
Not slinging anything.
I don't know what organization he's part of, but he's been a part of something against anti-Semitism for a long time. So, I mean, it was easy for him to call in Brady and Snoop Dogg to.
Oh no, you're saying he's
it's not to
writing
sell
a
a
commercial.
product.
No, he's writing a commercial to say anti-Semitism is bad, or that he's promoting. No, he's meaning he's not promoting.
Bad.
Okay, all right, cool. I misunderstood you, Seth. I thought Robert Kraft was writing an anti-Semitic commercial, and Tom Brady was involved in it.
What? You know what?
Tom Brady never makes stupid, calculated decisions like that.
Well, except
Although
for
he did get
FTX.
except for the Sam Friedman type deal.
I sent you. They have a teaser on it, which I sent it to your. It's like a 28-second teaser.
Did you send it to my IM?
Yes, I did.
All right, let me see if I can get that pulled up. Let's do some words. We'll come back with that. Also, Trump's DOE investigating 5 universities, including Columbia, over alleged anti-Semitic harassment. We'll get into that. And then the potential Robert Kraft commercials starring Tom Brady and who else?
Snoop Dogg.
And Snoop Dogg. So we'll do all that. And Lomi, I'm going to try to get to Hogan was on the Pat McAfee.
See, I watched the whole thing, 40 minutes.
Oh, God.
Was it a big Real American Beer high spot, Willie?
Not really. Pat McAfee was really trying to get him to apologize.
Did he get him a flap? For Hogan to apologize?
Yeah, he kept asking
to
him,
who?
For saying maybe the N-word or to some people.
And that involves
he didn't come out and say it, but he kept.
That's me, and in the indirect way, that's me.
He kept hinting about is there anything that people may not like you or that you have regrets? Is there anything you want to apologize for?
And Hogan could have taken the opportunity. Did he step up and say, you know what?
Yeah, he did. He stepped up and kept naming.
Good.
How he just kept naming other things.
Oh. He didn't step up and say, "Hey, listen,
Bret Hart." How he should have probably that, and then he mentioned Macho Man and. The politics.
All right, well, let's get it. We'll get into all that. Sounds juicy. Send me that Robert Kraft teaser high spot, if you will, and we'll be right back on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com
right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
What's up, everybody?
You want me to drag that over for you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, that was probably hard to hear. It was a cuckoo clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear it much.
All right.
Morning, Thomas. How you doing, buddy?
So, open it up for me. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay, perfect. And I can let me just open it up here. All right, perfect. Put me right in my gimmick.
How you doing, buddy?
Perfect. Thank you, Macho.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Rudy from Florida. Glenn Longnecker. What's up? What's up, Xerxes? Anthony Villa. Nick, you're the man. Toaster was good. The sheriffs love what you got us. Thank you so much. What's up, J-Law Bronco? I'll try my best. I only know to shoot one way. What's up, Suki John? Sicilian Redneck. What's up, my friend? Thank you, Dark Match. That's the only tequila I can drink, too. You can get it down there at siptequila.com. They'll send it anywhere. What's up, Highway 73? It was so nice meeting your brother. Thanks so much for your service up there in New Jersey.
Let that door go. You gotta watch out for Highway 73.
I know, he and his brother.
Highway 73 is a narc.
He's a narc.
He's a narc. His brother's good.
Ooh, it's cold in here. Holy
What's up,
shit.
JP?
Highway 73,
Thank you too, my friend.
Gotta watch out for
Fred.
him.
Hope you have a great day too.
I got break 6. I think we're at break 6.
Thank you, Nick. I think somebody is going to reach out to you. I think it was Steven. He may have something he wants to do for somebody too. What's up, Paul Rogers?
I mean, can you tell Red to stop playing the house stuff? Play it like every break.
The dark mesh, the Zuki Slayer says hello.
Yeah, he couldn't hear the effects. That's the thing about Zoom. It cancels out what it thinks is noise.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a Barrick's Feed or Comrex that's made for this.
Thank you for his service, Steve.
Macho.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the house thing?
The what?
The house.
The house.
Stop playing the house. It keeps playing.
For the B-roll?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're short staffed today.
Will you just mention that to Bubba real quick so he knows he heard him? Because we have played it like 5 times now. I guess maybe we try to change it for next break.
All right. Because Rhett's working on a bunch of production back there. I'll try to change the B-roll.
Okay, yeah, it's been,
We're just short staffed a little bit.
I know. But we can't run the same one.
No, I mean, in the future, we should probably just run a static logo or something.
Yeah, that would be better than running the same one every time. I mean, once you run it once, then you're good. And then just static logo it if you don't have, 4, 5, or 6 others in the hopper.
Yeah, because we have to manually change those, so.
I know.
Minute 20.
Okay, thanks.
You happy, Lemmy?
What?
You happy?
Mine?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I told him.
Oh, you want me to come up there and give you a jerk off?
Oh, boy.
Too early in the morning for
Did I just say that?
All the sexy
You did.
All the sexy
Wow,
talk
I'm
is early in the morning.
Where'd that come
I don't know. It's these pretzel sticks.
It's too much carbs.
They're making me thirsty.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, no.
Oof. Too much ejaculation talk today.
Yes, thank you, Jay. Yeah. Jeez. Me even answering you was just wrong.
It was.
Well, Bubba was really fighting for the alternate meaning on,
Steve.
45 again.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Myself, Lummy, Seth Kushner, JD Acco, Rhett, and the Macho Man behind the board today. As I'm live from my racetrack, Ocala Speedway. The action starts tonight with the Lucas Super Late Models. We're expecting 45 to 50 of those. And then the Mod Light Stars. We're expecting 40 to 50 of those, so probably 80 total plus cars here in the pits this morning. And as soon as I get off the air here in about 30 minutes, I'll start track prepping with my boy Rob and get last night's practice was unbelievable. And surface was a little bit maybe on the wet side, but we'll try to dry it out a little bit for tonight. You can watch all that if you'd like on Flow. Just go to flowracing.com. And sign up and get a subscription or whatever. I don't know if they go monthly or long-term, short-term. I really don't know much about it with regards to the subscription base of Flow Racing. Or if you live anywhere near Ocala, within an hour or so drive, maybe not, on a Tuesday night, but maybe like this Friday or Saturday. I know Lummy's bringing Walker out next week, I think.
Yes.
Saturday night. So Friday or Saturday, this Saturday night, the Lucas Super Late Models, $25,000 to win. World Outlaw Champion Bobby Pierce is showing up Friday and Saturday here at Ocala Speedway. So if you're a dirt track enthusiast or a racing enthusiast, nothing is as exciting as dirt racing compared to asphalt lockdown. Follow the leader, strategically try to nudge him out of the way as you pass him on the low side. And that boring ass asphalt stuff that most people are used to or call racing. This is violent. It's one guy that slides across the nose of another dude. The one dude lifts or they both end up in the wall. It's crazy. So anyway, tonight and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday here at Ocala Speedway. More information, you can go to our website at ocalaSpeedway.com. The Department of Education is launching an investigation into 5 colleges, including Columbia University, over alleged widespread anti-Semitic harassment following the tumultuous spring term where anti-Israel protests escalated on campuses countrywide. Under President Trump's direction, the DOE, the Department of Education, will be probing Northwestern University, Portland State, University of California, Berkeley, and the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, along with Columbia, where the student encampment protest first sparked over Israel's retaliatory strikes on Gaza after the Hamas attack on October 7th. I know that the 3 Columbia University deans have already been ousted from their positions for sharing texts that were disturbingly touched on ancient anti-Semitic tropes, according to schools. So I applaud this. The government getting involved into universities might be a little broad. It might be a little bit fringy on free speech, but at the end of the day, it's universities are private entities. They're not public entities, meaning like you don't have the right to be a freshman at Columbia University. You have to, qualify, pay, or be on a scholarship. And so you have to abide by the rules. And, being anti-Semitic and protesting in heathenistic anti-Semitic type ways, it's their sandbox, and sometimes you got to live by their rules. And I actually applaud this. I really do. Maybe, like again, the graffiti and all the hate that was spewed from these protests would be considered hate speech if it wasn't anybody other than Jewish people they were protesting.
Well, right.
Would it not? If it was African Americans, if it was, death to African Americans or African Americans suck or whatever to the whatever, no dean in their right mind would allow that, right?
Right. Well, the phrase "from the river" means eradicate the Jews. That's
right.
What it means when they say a trope. That's what they're saying is when they're chanting "from the river to the sea," they're saying we want to eradicate Israel and everyone that lives in it and all the Jews. That's what it means. And so, what you're saying is true.
Burn down Detroit because African Americans.
No, how about kill the ends? You can't say that.
No,
get rid of. You cannot say that. It's not protected speech. And so, what this is really saying is, Columbia is an Ivy League school, and Columbia and all the Ivy League schools get $7 billion from the United States government every year.
They do?
$7 billion.
For what?
Because we support them. And so, what he's saying is, we're not going to give you money if you allow any type of anti-Semitism or any type of hate speech on your campuses. I support that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm Mr. Free Speech like you. However, there's nothing free speech about it. Correct.
I mean, you defended one of the biggest free speech cases in this area ever.
And this is not an infringement on free speach. In my opinion.
No, this is hate speech.
It's hate speech,
and maybe somebody, I don't care who it is, needs to take like the 3 deans of Columbia. Maybe somebody needs to get their ass fired for allowing this, and maybe people will be a little bit less anti-Semitic. And I don't understand why everybody's anti-Semitic. I just don't understand.
Why is that cool?
I can't. I can't. And obviously Seth is Jewish, but even if Seth wasn't sitting on most days right beside me, but today in my studio, I would have the same position. Why be anti-Semitic? You can't be anti anything else. I mean, I'm anti kid toucher, and I'm anti bad guy taking grandma's 401k. Well, why do I have to be anti? Why are you going to judge somebody based on their religion? You can't be anti-Muslim.
No,
you can't be anti. So why are universities allowed to have these hate speech protests under the guise of anti-Semitism? I don't understand it.
It makes no sense, and it has nothing to do with Seth being in the room. I'm a Roman Catholic, and I believe in equal rights for all and persecution of any religion, including Muslims or anyone, Hindus, Muslims, Jews, anybody. It's the most hateful thing when you see children who are like the rich kids at these schools that cost $80,000 a year. And they're out there wearing the same freaking garb that the Palestinians wear, that Hamas wears. It offends me so badly, and I just don't understand it. And when I asked Nicholas, because, he went to Cornell and he goes to MIT, and he's in the
Nicholas, by the way, Nicholas, Steve's oldest son.
Yeah, he's in his engineering master's program at MIT, and he says he just has to keep his head down. You can't say anything in opposition. It's just crazy.
Well, maybe you can now. Because,
well, it's interesting.
Maybe you can, because when you're firing school leaders for allowing this, maybe you can. Maybe you can.
Well, Trump's doing another thing, which is you look at this two ways. One is the students. Are the institutions allowing students to engage in behavior that's unacceptable? And then you also look at, are all those kids students? And if they are, if they have visas from other countries, should they be allowed to come here and spew anti-American hate? And so there's a big time investigation going into canceling the students' visas for people that come here and promote hate and promote terror organizations. I mean, you're not saying, this bill's bad. Free speech. We think the election was rigged. We're talking about a pro-terrorism organization, Hamas. And when these people are protesting for Hamas and wearing Hamas clothes
and blocking the airport,
and their flags are Hamas
O'Hare
flags.
Airport. And I'm going to be late for my flight, and I don't even have a dog in this fight either way. I'm just some white guy from Naperville that's trying to get to O'Hare. I mean, it's very disruptive. It very much is, and they wouldn't allow it for any other. This wouldn't fly for anybody else, but for some reason it flies for being anti-Semitic. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, is producing an anti-Semitism a foundation to combat anti-Semitism. Here's the teaser from Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg that's going to be on the Super Bowl 59 this Sunday.
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods. I hate you because you look different. I hate you because I don't understand you. I hate you because people I know hate you. I hate you because I think you hate me. Because I
sounds like one of our staff meetings.
hate you. I hate you because I think you hate me. Because I need someone to blame. Because you talk different. Because you act different. Because you're just different.
The reasons for hate are as stupid as they sound. I'm reading the text.
I hate that things are so bad that we have to do a commercial about it. Me too.
I like that. I really, and two very influential, people with a positive message. I like that.
Me too. It made my heart feel good.
It did.
But they're right. I think finding somebody to blame for your life going sideways is definitely a number one reason for hate.
And the other one is, I hate you because my friend hates you.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you because I think I'm supposed to hate you. Here's the Hogan stuff on to start scratching the surface. Hogan on the Pat McAfee show yesterday.
Good 40-minute interview.
What's that?
Good 41-minute interview.
41 minutes.
Yeah, I listened to it.
The whole thing?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, no.
Deep history. And the NWO turn was with and on Macho, obviously, and the world upside down with it. Whenever you look back on your relationship with him, how do you view it?
Well, the good thing is...
Well, I used to call in Bubba's show every day and talk bad about Macho Man every day. And would even do Macho Man impersonations, would he not?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. We should find all the Macho Man calls. Start making some reels on that deal.
It was right before he passed away. We kissed and made up.
That's huge. I think that's a big deal. Lifelong regret.
We were together every day. I mean, we traveled together. He lived right down the beach from me. We trained every day. We did everything together. And then when he went to the divorce, yeah, Hogan, you're the one that did this to us. You got in her ear. I'm like, what? It was my wife, not me. My wife took her down to Miami. It was game over.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Game over, man. Good God.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to touch it. I think I've talked about it before, and I probably shouldn't talk about it anymore.
But then he hated me for like 8 or 10 years, and
when I was running with Bubba.
then he got remarried to his high school sweetheart, and I guess he kind of calmed down a little bit. And I was at the doctor's office. I was having some heart problems or something, and he came in there with his mom, and I'm just sitting there on that paper table, you know, with one of my ex-wives, and he walks in. And
Jennifer
opened the door. My eyes got this big, and my ex-wife really didn't know who he was. And he goes, "Hey, what's up, brother?" And I went, "Man, you look great, man," because he got his size back. Because he went from Spider-Man 290 down to about 180. And I ran into him in TNA, and it wasn't cool. We weren't cool, but he was kind of like very small. I kind of felt bad, you know, and he didn't look real great. And then I saw him this last time, and he looks like Randy. He was 240, healthy, and he had a wedding ring on. I married my high school sweetheart. And I introduced my ex-wife to him, and she goes, "Oh, Mr. Macho Man, if you want to, we're having dinner. Terry's got a bunch of his lawyers over there." I said, "No, I don't need any lawyers. I think I'll start slow, you know." so then I was with
Terry's got a bunch of lawyers in town.
with Lanny, his brother. We were doing some independent stuff up in Canada, wrestling in some places up in Canada, and we called, and I guess his dog or something had just died. I don't know what it was, but he was all, and his dog was his favorite person, you know, and his German Shepherd.
Man's best friend.
Yeah, man, and Randy loved that dog. The whistle was like, that's how he would whistle for his dog. That I can't do it. That's how he do it.
Yeah, sound like
Yeah. So anyway, we called Randy. Hey, we're going to be back this weekend. We're going to have a barbecue with your mom and stuff like that. And I'll be damned, he passed away before we got back.
Okay, but you do have a sense of.
Yeah, we were cool at the end, man. It was really cool because he was back to being Randy.
So you listened to the entire 41-minute gimmick?
Yes, I did.
Was it
all right?
It was good.
There's 3 total clips.
Yeah, that's all they cut up, but yeah.
I mean, it's pretty well cut up, actually.
Yeah.
This is 52 seconds.
This
This
is his Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, this is his Mount Rushmore. We'll do that. Go to words, which will put me, I think we're at break 6 now, which will be break 7. I've been keeping little tally marks, and then we'll end the show with ever the last Hogan Pat McAfee clip was.
Mount Rushmore, when you do Mount Rushmore, obviously a lot of people put you.
And let me, I think, will you look in our archives, and I know that I've asked Hogan Mount Rushmore
Yeah, I was
before,
looking for it yesterday.
and I don't think that it I think he's completely changed.
Well, he was going over to the list I found. He went over.
He put himself in there, didn't he?
I believe so.
I think when he was on our show and he did the Mount Rushmore deal, he put himself in there.
Yeah, it was him and the Nasty Boy.
You on there because
I'm saying
that's who he was with. That was the show, and
he was with Brian Knobs. He was with Brian Knobs, right?
So what you did for the business? How do you judge it? Is it money earned, business change? What do you? Whenever people do those Mount Rushmores, what do you think they should think about?
It's not money. It's not money. I can tell you right now who it would be. I can tell you who the 4 guys are right now. It's Andre the Giant.
Okay.
It's Roddy Piper. It's, without doubt, it's Ric Flair. And Macho Man.
Okay.
That's the real Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so you left out, obviously, Attitude Era there. You left out Modern Generation.
Yeah.
And that's because you believe company doesn't exist through those
guys
things.
laid the groundwork for everybody that came after them.
Now, obviously, you are omitting yourself from that. A lot of people, if you were going to do that generation.
Those guys made me. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be Hulk Hogan.
Mount Rushmore, when you do Mount Rushmore, obviously, a lot of people put you on there.
So much just more digestible when he's a real human being and he's not in character.
He really is.
Mm-hmm.
He really is.
He knows how to interview exceptionally well.
But I think people are kind of tired of the. That's one thing, Lummy, that we did so well with when we had Hogan. He was never in character. He was just like this. You're right. Hundreds of hours we have of Hogan calling my show was all this Hogan. And I think that's what people like or liked or potentially, liked.
Yeah.
I think the cartoon gimmick is over. I don't think Grandpa can pull off a high spot anymore. So just be down to earth. You got so many great stories and so many great things to say.
Lummy, did you say Jimmy Hart was in there with him?
Jimmy Hart was.
Oh, Jimmy Hart goes everywhere. He's his handler.
Yeah.
He really is.
You drink a beer with him.
Let me do a break real fast, and we'll end the program with Hogan. Is this where they address the booze?
Yes.
On Raw on Netflix when he debuted in L.A.
Yes.
with Monday Night Raw on Netflix? Okay, cool. We'll do that next. We'll end the show, wrap it up. And then tomorrow my intentions are to be in the studio tomorrow. Back with to wrap it up, Hogan's final clip on the Pat McAfee show coming up next on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
I listened to. I told you I listened to Over the Line yesterday. Yeah. It was good. I skipped past the sucking out.
Yeah.
One more break. Literally only have to wait about
Walk around just to get some blood movement.
Yeah. You ever take a walk in the mornings like he does? I wish I did more.
My trainer guy told me not to do any cardio whatsoever.
Really? Like you're just in the bulking phase?
And now they got me on a bulking, like a pill that makes you hungry as hell, so I've been eating nonstop.
My son has to have his wisdom teeth taken out tomorrow, and he's so upset that he's not going to be able to work out for a week. He's like, I'm going to lose everything I gained.
Tell him to keep the straws away from him.
His what?
Keep straws away from you.
Okay.
Because I had mine done, and I went right
Dry
afterwards,
sockets, right?
and went to lunch with buddies at the radio station, stuck on a straw for a Coke.
Those things are gnarly. Dry sockets make that recovery horrible.
They have to repack it and stuff. Oh.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
What's up? I'm going to call you the police. Whoop, whoop. It's funny, like he's got so much natural testosterone at 17. It's like,
Well, yeah, I started lifting when I was in high school.
Me too. I used to be 15 pounds. I was 188 for the longest time,
Yeah.
and then I was 180 for 15 years, and then 170. Now I struggle to get 165.
That's a good weight though, because a lot of these kids are really small. I'll see these guys. Like there's one that came in the gym. He just started in January, and he's really like just.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying. He's in the
Where do you work out? EOS? That's where he is now. EOS, but.
Oh no! There's a private gym in Plant City.
Okay.
It's a power shop.
Yeah.
So
I know he's serious when he doesn't work out with anyone else but himself. He's like, my friends don't work out as hard as I do, so he comes 2
those
hours.
places are just too busy. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And then when you're a bigger guy too, people tend to look at you like you're a zoo animal. So I like the privacy a little bit.
Yeah, I did gyms for a while, and then I just hated the whole social part of it.
Almost done.
Dry sockets do so.
I got so much shit to do yet.
Oh, do you?
I gotta go to 94.5 because the translator didn't have an audio processor in the transmitter, just a stereo encoder. So Brad's been bitching about how levels are just all over the place. Well, no wonder. We didn't know that because we don't control it. I was weaseling my way in.
Dude, you're like fucking on the clock 24/7, man.
But we pay rent for that place. I didn't want to give us a key. So we finally got access. So we're cleaning it up. But right now, because I put the processor in, the levels are screaming. So I have to go there and turn down the modulation.
Okay.
But yes.
Well, at least things weren't on fire today when you came here, right?
No, today was much better.
Okay.
And I got a backup cable for that fiber, and I got a cover coming to cover it as well.
Okay, good.
A conduit cover, so protect it from the rodent. I can't believe it. They love that one cable because they don't show nothing else back there. Just that one cable, the fiber cable.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show, live from my Speedway, Ocala Speedway, in the pits. I think I'm parked next to RTJ, Ricky. RTJ number 20, Lummy. I think he's the leader in the Lucas late model points.
Oh, really?
What a great dude. This is JD Ocko in the studio, Seth Kushner. Lummy, of course. Lummy, how you been feeling lately, buddy?
Great, Bubba.
You a little tuned up?
Oh, yeah. I was sorry. I had to run back in here. A little out of breath.
From what, right? From engineering?
Yes.
Right. Are we good? Are we?
Yeah, no, I was trying to get you that flow racing cut real quick.
Hey, Bubba, would you be cool if Tuttle started coming in on Wednesdays?
Instead of Thursdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe Tuttle's a little redundant if we have Babyface in here. So, yeah, no, if that works for him, it works for me. If it works for y'all.
Okay, it works for him. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Yeah, there you go.
Then, as a friend of Trump, you go speak for Trump. Then you piss off about half of the country. Yeah. Are you still in the middle of feeling that? Like at the Intuit Dome? I don't think any of us expected.
No. Oh, I did.
You expected that because of the political stuff or because of everything else?
But you got to realize, last time I ran hard in L.A., I was a bad guy. I was Hollywood Hogan, man. I was riding dirty with the boys, Nash and Hall.
Come on, dude.
We were spraying.
Come on, Terry.
No one's booing you because you ran dirty with Nash and Hall.
That's true.
Nobody.
Come on.
Just like Seth said, nobody that booed you in L.A. booed you because you were part of NWO with WCW.
That was the last time you was there,
on, man.
Bubba.
Now you're working,
was that
brother.
Was
Come
that 99?
No one remembers that.
Like 01. Like 01.
I shot everybody and started out with the too sweet stuff. So last time I was there, I was a heel. But I think the politics had a whole lot to do with it, like you said.
I would say, I would assume you get into politics and also some other stuff,
Yeah, of course. But at the end... a couple times.
Yeah, and they're going to see it.
Hold on here. I think he just said something.
I heard stripper pole.
Hold on here.
Yeah. I mean, when you're in a public eye for 40 years.
Yeah, you do slip and fall a couple times.
Yeah, and they're going to see it. Everybody's
But anyway, at the end of the day, we kind of looked at it the next day because, I had like 11 billion impressions, and some of the other guys, some of the big stars that were on that car that night only had like 3 billion. I don't name names.
Oh,
but,
my God.
So you were like,
Now we're going to impressions.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, hate me some more.
We actually ran a press conference the day after. I don't know if you got a chance to see it from the Hulkster, but we have a lot of questions for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, but the one thing is, I was talking about the beer. We're in a relationship with the WWE. They're my partner in this thing, and I had to be a good guy in LA.
Yes.
Now, if this was for wrestling, and they turned on me like that, I'd have turned into Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I said,
oh, hell yeah.
So you hate me for everything I've done for all the Make-A-Wish kids and everything I did for your kids. Well, guess what? I did it for the money. and by the way, since you want so much hatred coming your way, I hope you have a good time when Kamala Harris, is your new governor, and you're all standing in the soup line. Mic drop. See you.
Jeez Louise.
But I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I was ready. I was ready to go after him.
Well, I thought.
And with that, we will say goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Wow.
Man.
Jay, appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate everybody. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. You want to throw a last little something, all at the Bubba Army. And I will be back in studio with the boys feeling a little more comfortable and in my element. Although this was perfect, and Macho Man and the Merch Crick and everybody that helped engineer, Rhett helped engineer this. From all accounts, it sounds great, it looks great, and I appreciate y'all. We will see you. I'll be back tomorrow at 6, and I think, are you guys doing something today?
I got pigmentation at 11 o'clock, sir.
Okay, perfect. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you.
Thanks for letting me finish. You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repair